Hello, hello. Today, feeling cute. No, well, sort of. I can be cuter, but, you know, one step at a time, right? Okay. I have undergone some changes. By the way, hello. Hello. Okay. I've undergone some changes. Minor changes. I'm now level 41. I decided to try to pump my faith early so that I don't have to worry about it later. And to that end, I'm able to now change weapons from Dex to Sacred. Sacred's what it's called in this game. So you'll see, I still have the good old boy, Bloodhound's Fang +2. You'll notice, though, it has a D in Strength and a C in Dex right now, so it scales mainly with Dexterity. It does not have any Faith scaling. And because this is a unique weapon, it has Bloodhound's Finesse, and you can't change out of it. You can't put ashes into this thing. It will never, ever, ever be able to scale with Faith. So consequently, Bloodhound, as much as some people either loathe this weapon or love it, its days were always numbered. I was never going to keep using it for, you know, the rest of eternity. So, to that end, I started exploring other options. I've noted that there's really nothing particularly amazing in this early part of the game. That kind of just basic stuff, and I really didn't want to just use it. Like, I knew that if I was going to use something basic like just a straight sword, it was not going to be dealing any poise damage, so I would never break poise using it, other than like charged R2s. So I decided, also for God knows what reason, from soft logic, even though daggers, swords of all kinds, even like maces or whatever, especially the spiky ones, they can't cause bleeding. Which I've never quite been able to make any sense out of. For some reason, if you cut someone with a big sword, no. You may have cut them. They're not bleeding, though. They'll be just fine. But if you use a katana, ooh, that's a good weapon right there. Anyways, it causes bleeding. Same thing with curved swords for some reason. I guess the logic is supposed to be that they were historically used against enemies that did not have armor. Which, don't ask me what the logic of that is. Like, this weapon is only effective against people that are not defending themselves. Oh, so it's really good against... No, like, it doesn't suck. Like, that's the actual difference. Like, the reason why... Like, take the weapon I'm using here. Curved, right? Part of the reason why they were curved like this is because they were used as, like, riding swords. Whenever you rode down on someone, you would swing the sword, and because of the curvature of the blade, I'm not gonna try to explain a fucking physics lesson behind this, but it was better for being on horseback and hitting people as you were riding, because the stroke would carry through, go into their body, but not get lodged into their body. It being shaped this way for just general purpose combat is actually less effective than it just being a straight sword. There's other things in relation to the reason why katanas are very slightly curved, and it doesn't really matter. I had some sort of point... Oh, I wanted it to be a bleed weapon, sorry. But anyways, yeah. Bleed is completely broken in this game to the point where you can do something like dump 40 points into Arcane and make yourself a straight-up bleed weapon and put that on top of a weapon that already was dealing lots of bleed damage, and it just obliterates anything it touches, effectively. So I wanted to at least try it. So I went out to some skelemen that were over here. You start here and you go all the way over here, and then some skeletons that are just in the middle of nowhere for somebody just jerking off their skeletal dicks. Pop up out of the ground, and a couple of them, there are two of them there that actually have the double this thing, the bandit's curved sword. The reason why I'm using these specifically is because I went up on the wiki, and the wiki can most assuredly be wrong, especially now. Especially Fextra, however you... Fextra? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Fextra? Wikidot is by far the superior site, but it takes a while for it to get going. So until then, we have the shitty Fexter site where just people come in and just, based on anecdotal evidence or just random assumptions, they'll just take a big diarrhea dump onto the wiki and now you have to deal with it. But anyways, supposedly it scales up to a B in Faith eventually, and it has one of the highest base damage values if you convert over to Sacred. So I farmed 2 of these. It took a while though, kind of a pain in the ass. So now I'm able to use, what would I do? If I 2-hand over to my left, I'm able to buff myself, and then if I switch back to my other weapon, this one, then I can use that to do the whole shooty sacred beam light thing that lasts like 15 seconds. So way more useful that way. Have a shit ton of runes that I'm sitting on because I want to be able to use those to buy some stuff whenever we get to that point. There's a few more things to do in Limgrave, but not too many. First things first, I wanted to show off the bird eye telescope. I haven't really used it, but yeah, you use it, and for some reason, what if I can see myself? Probably not. It probably wouldn't allow me to. Oh. No, I don't think so. But yeah, if you use the bird-eye telescope, you can just look around. You know, in all honesty, it doesn't see that far. Because there's Stormveil, you can just barely see it. Like, it does zoom in, it's better than the naked eye, but not by much. The main advantage of this thing is not that it's a telescope, it's just that you're up in the sky for some reason, even though you're looking through it at ground level. I could not begin to try to explain the lore explanation for this. I think the explanation is probably, once again, just shut up, stop asking questions. But it is your chance to actually get a good lay of the land and sort of make sense out of all the areas that you're traversing. Which we don't need too much of anymore, thankfully. But yeah. It's nice to have. It's very cute. And one day this terrain will change just a little bit, but until then, that's all we got. Okay, so I did that. Congratulations to me, one thing off the list. Now the next thing I want to do is... I was in a bit of a rush, so I can do this last time. We'll go back over to Balk, who has been lying in agony for the past few days because I couldn't be bothered to show up.
Oh, they bopped my noggin, they did, sir.
What are you doing here? You must leave this place at once.
So it repeats his dialogue.
They'll rush in and beat you to a pulp. You'll end up just like me.
Won't even give you the courtesy of a reach around, they won't.
Alright, so you find his sewing needle after you get through beating the crap out of everyone in that cave. Why they were carrying it around, I don't know, they just were. I guess they just really didn't like him. Give him the sewing needle.
Back for me. My sewing
Goodness
needle.
gracious.
Even though you quote-unquote give it to him, you still have it in your inventory. And by the way, curved, I commented on this last time, curved sewing needles are a bit more useful for like suturing.
My mum was a seamstress, and that sewing kit was all I had to remember her by. I always wanted to be just like sweet old mum.
Dead.
Then I...
Eaten by
suppose
wolves, she was.
I can't just curl up and die, can I?
Okay. You know, Bog, I guess he's supposed to come across as being very likable. Because he is, like, sweet and pleasant. But I really get the impression, like, he's so beaten down. His personality, they probably did not intend this at all, but I really get the impression that he's a bit of a creep. And he would probably get a little bit too attached to you. Because he's never experienced kindness of any kind. So he would probably start to get a little bit clingy and a little bit creepy and maybe a little bit manipulative and crazed. But I'm just reading into that. Or am I? Yes, I am.
You're very kind. I always wanted to be a seamster like my mum. Then I suppose I can't just curl up and die, can I?
The idea that there are... Like, they have to, but the idea of demi-humans having culture of any kind Like, imagine someone just sitting down sewing in a rocking chair, and then right next to them is this monkey man scratching his ass in a loincloth, just dropping horse apples on the ground, going, "Rah! Rah!" A little bit weird. A little bit of a... not quite the social parody that you would expect out of that situation.
You're very... I always want...
Very kind. Seems to know the kind of time. Okay. Now, the reason why you give this to him, you can continue, like, altering your own garments whenever you want to. But you'll notice it actually costs money. But if you go to where he is, and I can't remember where the hell he goes right now, he may not even be in this area anymore. But I remember the next time he shows up, it's over here. It's like the first bonfire past Stormvale. I wonder, let me check real fast, because there's actually another thing that I need to do today. Well, several things I need to do today. Whatever, fine. Search for it. Oh, because his name... I'm sorry. Bach with a C. My mistake. I was spelling with a... How dare I? Okay. Oh, he will be able to repair at any of the remaining 4 locations. Being a lake-facing cliffs. Okay, so yeah. He's absolutely nowhere near us right now. So we're not going to see him for a long time. Oh well, not too concerned about it. Alright. May as well exhibit some alteration of the clothing, though, because I do have one that I need to change. Okay. So it costs a measly 500, but, you know, if you find him, it can be free. Don't ask me why exactly you're paying yourself and then throwing it into the garbage, but, you know, I guess we won't worry about that. But as you can see, all it really does is just remove the cape. Or the shackles, or whatever else it happens to be on your body at the time. Alright. Also, we need to go deliver some poopy butthole scrolls to Little Miss Selin. Then buy her garbage, her loathsome, abominable, spell-casting garbage. Also, I will point out... I have quite a few sorceries, no incantations yet. A little bit of disparity in them handing out free stuff at the beginning, isn't there? Unless you actually begin as a class that has incantations, you're not going to have anything if you're just sticking around Limgrave. Because I've turned over every single boulder that I can find in this place, and we still don't have a damn thing. In fact, we don't even have the means to cast them yet.
My apprentice. Shall we commence the lesson?
Okay, so, give her a scroll.
Very well. This is sorcery with which I'm not entirely unfamiliar. I'll be sure to incorporate it into one of your lessons. Never lose that inquisitive spirit, my apprentice.
Okay, I'll do this thing for you. Alright, so these are the 2 things that you get. Glint Blade Phalanx, basically just like homing soul mass, that sort of thing. Increase the defensive arch of magic glint blades overhead, which automatically attack nearby foes. In my experience, these are next to worthless. Maybe that has changed, but usually in most of the games they are... Well, like, Pursuers fucking ruled. But a lot of that was because it was, like, very slow moving. And that alone could really throw people off. In PvE, I guess it will run into things, but if it's one of the ones that fire off very quickly, then it does have a tendency to miss because enemies move so quickly. Bestowed upon the enchanted Carrion Knights, who combine this art with their swordsmanship to maintain pressure upon their foes, striking in waves of steel and sorcery. How utterly fascinating. I'm just on the edge of my seat with this description. Carrion Slicer conjures a magic sword and delivers a swift, sweeping slash. This sorcery can be used without delay after performing another action. That's pretty useful. Even among the Carrion Sword sorceries, this is a notably effective technique. This is like the developers making it and being like, holy shit, this may be a little bit overpowered. Nah, we'll just make it really shitty. So there we go. That's done. And for some reason, I don't think you can actually... No, you can. You can. That's strange. Oh, I think it's the multiplayer thing that I've been doing a lot of multiplayer recently. So now I have 35 rune arcs, which I'll probably never really use, because I just don't bother. What else I gotta do? There is one more thing I need to do, and that is a conversation back at the church. And I think this might be the round table conversation. I am not entirely certain, but I did notice that there was an option here. Which I hope it is still here, and it is. Hello, talk to Melina. Boop. And she just pops right in the thin air.
Aura is the grace of the Erd Tree. This light
Is it not?
once shone in the eyes of your tarnished brethren, but now it is all that guides you. Or so I hear. You can see them.
I don't
can't
fucking
you?
know.
The rays of grace that guide you through your burden.
Yeah, I'm cool. So that's it? Huh, well, alright.
Who inherited a fragment of the
Thanks for
shattered
skipping that
Elden
dialogue.
Ring.
Appreciate it.
If the rays of grace signal the castle, then the Elden Ring beckons you. As an ally by pact, I pray that you are fit to face the challenge presented by the ring.
Maybe if I use... Some people have said to use the left mouse
On the
button.
cliff in Castle Stormvale,
I don't know if that worked or not.
a demigod who inherited a fragment
Yes, it did.
of the shattered Elden Ring. If the rays of grace signal the castle, then the Elden Ring beckons you. As an ally by
That would be
pact,
Godric.
I pray that you are fit to face the challenge presented by the ring.
Okay, I'm gonna listen. Bear with me. I'm gonna
On
listen to
the
that one more
cliff
time.
In Castle Stormvale
Castle Stormvale.
is a shard bearer, a demigod
Right.
who inherited a fragment of the shattered Elden Ring. If the
Right,
rays
those are
of
the great
grace signal
runes.
the castle, then the Elden Ring beckons you.
If
As
the
an
Elden Ring
ally
tells
by
you to
pact,
go there, just go there.
I pray that you are fit to face the challenge presented by the ring.
Okay. So that's all she says. Interesting. It's also interesting that she has not showed up to instruct us to go to the round table yet. Which is a little bit strange. Considering that you're supposed to have her show up and say, hey, you should go to the round table if you have unlocked enough points of grace, and I have, by a pretty substantial margin. Okay, but the next thing I need to do is go fight this dork that has the weapon that I need. I'm not really used to using these weapons yet. I will tell you, I'm used to using something that can actually break poise because I get really irate with not being able to. Because as mentioned before, I don't like being hit. And being able to stop an enemy from spastically attacking at 1,000,000 miles per hour is one method of doing that. So we'll see what happens. Doesn't look like it's going to do much, though. Yep. Okay, this is going to take a while, I suspect. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to just go back to using the Bloodhound Fang, because its reach is going to be way higher. Because this is more of a weapon that you're supposed to use and sustain. So I'm definitely going to need to have a weapon that is capable of doing horseback fighting, and also one that will be able to shatter poise, and then another one that is like this, and is more useful for the spamming like crazy. Whoop! I really also detest that whenever they have the flail, oh man, it's just this massive, like, godlike weapon. Like, whenever you have it, sure, it's still fine. But it's this extremely tiny, piddly little thing. Come on. But I could... What if I just try to stay on this side? If I try to stay on this side that has... Come on. I'm trying to get on his other side where he can't swing. I kind of doubt that's going to matter. He really doesn't want to stay still, though. Gotta get knocked off that horse eventually. Go on. Alright, there we go. Come here. Come here. There we go. Oh, did you? Oh, do not lock up. Do not lock up. I'll do it again. Bitch.
Come to me, my horsey!
No. Alright. Barricade shield. Arguably the best shield art in the game. Arguably. And Knight Rider Flail. By the way, whenever I was farming, the drop rate on the weapons that I'm using right now, these things, the Bandit's curved swords, is notoriously low. There's also another curved sword, what's it called? It's this big knife in German. Gross. I can't remember what its name is. But the easiest place to farm that is going to be, I think, this particular catacomb. I've marked everything that I'm going to need to explore. I think it's that one. I'm not going to do all that today. But anyways, the process of actually farming that weapon was a prolonged one because it just takes absolutely forever. Whenever I finally got the drop, I had a weird bug, and I actually managed to screen cap it. I don't see any reason to show it, but take my word for it. You know how whenever you get an item drop, it says like horse dildo ×1 or whatever. This time it said like that sword name, Bandit's curved sword, and then it said ×2, which I thought was weird because I was like, oh, did it drop 2 of them because the skeleton uses 2 of them at the same time? And I went in there and looked, and no, I only had 1. And then I checked my chest. Maybe it got sent to the chest for some bizarre reason. It didn't. And then I thought, well, maybe it's like a fist weapon, and you can actually like power stance it natively. No, you can't. So just for some reason it did that. So I went and farmed another one, and this time it had ×1, like it should have. So what that means, I have no idea. Maybe the game was saying, hey, this skeleton is dropping its weapon. It had 2 of them, it drops 2 of them. But then there's like an oversight where it's like, well, it only drops 1 thing at a time because it's actually drawing from the table or something. So it ended up just dropping 1 item anyways. I don't know. It's just one of those really bizarre behaviors that I just should not be questioning, but I just devoted 2 minutes to explaining it. Isn't that nice? Yeah, it's a Plague of Gripes LP. Let's go. Barricade Shield. Shield made famous by Sir Neidhart. Oh yeah, that good old Sir Neidhart. Good old Sir Neidhart. Focus your energy into the shield, temporarily hardening it to deflect greater blows. Yep, that's what it does. Usable on all shield. And now I can finally actually switch off to this flail. Oh, I don't have the dex for it just yet. Well, we can fix that. Knight Rider Flail. A flail with 2 additional bludgeoning heads. Weapon of the Knights Cavalry who ride funeral steeds. Oh, so that's what he's supposed to be? The Knights Cavalry are funeral steeds. Or they ride atop them, anyways. The large spikes make it highly effective at inducing blood loss, but also demand high dexterity to wield. As I recall, flails in real life, even though there are quite a few examples of them, were not actually used much of any. I don't know if they were actually used at all, for that matter, in battle. I mean, how would I know? But I have heard that it's one of those things that we consider to be historical, but it actually was more just, they were novelties that were created. And they may have been used more for, like, the theatrics of the night carnivals, or whatever you want to call them, that were prevalent during the, like, Lance days, whatever. I don't know how to describe it. But during the era in which it became more prevalent to showcase knights as opposed to actually utilizing them. I don't know how to describe it otherwise. 24, okay. Alright. Alright, good. I think I've gotten... Ooh, don't lock up. I think I've gotten pretty much everything that I need out of that. Yeah, I'm going to have to pump a lot into dexterity to be able to use that. So maybe it's going to be low priority for me for a bit. I'll hang on to these runes for now, he said, thinking forward to the future where he would inevitably lose all of them because of something or another. I'm sure that's going to happen. Alright. Let's be off. I'll take this side first. And if you didn't... Oh, yeah. If you didn't know, you can actually... I don't... One of those things, I'm sure everyone knows. But this thing that you use to get up on top of the cliff, you can use it to get all the way up here inside the tower. And that's your way of getting up here and getting the Great Turtle Shell. Ooh. Great Turtle Shell. Good old turtle shell. Shield fashioned from a great turtle shell. The natural curve helps it contend with foes' attacks. The turtle is a symbol of tirelessness, and this shield boosts stamina recovery speed. It sure does. I'll read this. Bandit's curved sword, the thing I'm using right now. Got these off skeletons once again. Curved sword with a light crescent-shaped blade, used by the bandits who ran rampant in the wake of the Shattering. So supposedly the skeletons that we're running into were bandits themselves at some point. Most of the blade is now darkened and covered in rust, but with enough dexterity, this weapon may still stand some use. And a warming stone. I forgot what these do. I think they're like local AoE heal items that you can place on the ground. Yeah, okay, yeah, they use FP. It is a ruin fragment, so again, these stones that we find that fell out of the sky from that weird ancient city that we don't know anything about. And supposedly the walls themselves may have also at some point have been dragons. It is unclear. But they were blessed with an incantation of the two fingers. Uses FP to generate warmth, continuously restoring the HP of those nearby. If you can craft these things, and they are just rune fragments that have been blessed with an incantation of the two fingers, it is kind of unusual. Like, if at some point in the future you were to betray them, you would think you would lose the ability to do this, but I guess not. Or maybe incantations aren't necessarily linked to the two fingers. Maybe it's one of those things again. Have no idea. It said that the Erd Tree was once as warm as the gentle sun, and would gradually heal all who bathed in its rays. They sure would. Okay. Not much to say about this particular little area, other than this is a tower that has no way of actually reaching this area. Like, we have a completely nude commoner corpse, which, radical. I guess if he sought sanctuary up here, then lost all interest in wearing clothes, which, I don't blame you there, buddy. But there does seem to be a small repository of resources and weapons up here. And what used to be a bench before I completely annihilated it. Don't worry about that. Nothing around there. Is that a shovel? No, that's an axe. Okay. So yeah, everything up here is going to be completely related to weaponry. But you'll notice that there's not actually any stairs up here. There are no stairs. There's no hatch that I can see. Hatch. Hatch. Nope, no hatch at all. Now, you could get around this problem by having some sort of framework scaffolding that goes around the edges of the structure, but there's none of that either. So it might just be another one of those Elden Ring-isms, where they did not give the environment as much thought as the other games have been getting. Elden Ring is not disappointing in that regard. It is understandable, given the nature of how this game was developed, but still, it is unfortunate, all the same. Not much else to see up here other than this gigantic tower. We'll come back to this area in a bit. Alright. Hopefully we're not getting too many frame drops. As mentioned before, a lot of the reason why the game looks especially weird to me is because of the fact that I have a... Gonna run up? Where are they going? Just chilling out. Part of the reason why this game looks especially weird to me is because of the fact that I have a Cintiq that runs at 59 frames a second. No. And I have another monitor that can potentially run at 144, and it never does. And then the other one I think is capable of running at like 120 or something. So I have, they don't, like they all, I think I've set them all to run at 60 by this point. But yeah, the fact that they are all different frequencies, however you want to describe it, means that they do not get along well together, and Windows is notoriously bad at being able to organize different frame rates between different monitors. So whenever I look at it, even though a game says it's running at 60, it actually is running at more like 35, and sometimes it'll dip so far down that I'm basically looking at it as though it's 15 or something frames a second. It is insufferable, but there's nothing I can do about it because I have limited room and only room for one computer. Don't have room for another thing for Cintiqs, but whatever. Okay, so if you examine this little thing of these two little dudes, it says seek 3 wise beasts. And I think this is a unique statue. I don't recall ever seeing this one anywhere else. But it's the same two little dudes. I don't know why exactly they're so common. These ones sort of look like... I don't know, these guys to me, they look like little gremlins. But, in the process of doing co-op, I actually got 3 of these. I've since sold 2 of them. But, those guys sometimes will drop one of these imp heads. A head covering made from the largely unaltered head of an impish golem. Resembling a cat, yes, this one does, it holds trace amounts of feline intelligence. Now, they look nothing like these guys, so we'll just ignore that. Now, whenever the game tells you to seek 3 wise beasts, it's actually talking about these little spectral turtle guys, and when it says seek, it means brutally murder for no reason. So, we'll brutally murder him. Let's see. I think another one's just, yeah, that one's just standing out here. This is your tutorial one where it's basically like, this is what you do. Of course, whenever I first came across those poor little turtles, I thought to myself, oh, I should talk to them. They'll be my friends. They're wise beasts. No, murder them. Just fucking kill them. Okay, there it is. I seem to recall it happening faster than this. But you're supposed to go by this puddle and note the presence of this ripple that's happening out of nowhere. And even though you can't see the wise beast, you can bop him on the head. Alright, anything else out here? Not really. It is a little bit unusual that that tower is over there. Because it wouldn't really... Yeah, I guess if it's just adjoining that. At one point this would have been used to barricade the road. And you can see that most of the rest, there's like a big open space here. But this wall did used to exist to completely blockade this castle itself. It would be... You ever think about that? Like if there is no such place like this on Earth necessarily. There are similar places, but you know, fictional place. But it'd be really cool to live in a place like this. And just know that you live in this fortress city that is barricaded by a gigantic wall. And there's only like one road in. I know there's something comfy about that. I know what it is. Of course, then again, you have open latrines that you go to like a tower and then take a shit, and then the shit just falls down a big tube, and then a guy comes out in the middle of the night and has to hand scoop it up. So maybe, you know, maybe not all aspects of life are particularly great. Also, you would die in your 30s. But hey, when you look outside, you'll be able to see a giant-ass wall and be like, whoa, that's fucking cool. So that's a bonus, and that's one thing. I've noticed that all these areas, like if it's mage-related, it has a common theme of there's a bunch of books, They're these silly little globes. Enough of your globes. Fuck your globes! There's some tables with some shit on it. Weird little storage things. Just alchemic stuff. And once again, these weird little crucible urn chest things that I still don't quite know what they are. And now they're trash. Good for me. See, kids, whenever you don't understand something, if you destroy it, then you don't have to understand it. Treasure chest at the top contains a memory stone, which is quite useful. If I can remember where exactly these go, here it is. Increases memory slots, a black, lightly beguiling stone, prized by the sorcerers who produce them. Increased memory slots said to be a fragment of the Black Moon that once hung above the Eternal City. The Eternal City is a city that is below ground. We've actually been there very briefly, like a part or two ago. I think 2 parts ago. And I was like, ooh, this looks nice. Let's go right back up. And that we did. But apparently down there used to be a black moon underground that hung above the Eternal City. A black moon, they say. I have no idea. So again, bunch of books, bunch of weird alchemical bullshit. Me no understand. Me smash. Me no longer need to understand. Me smart now. Smarter than you. You are dead. Okay. And also there's this weird painting. I think this is actually probably just filtered. Another filtered screenshot. I doubt it's concept art. It doesn't really look like it. It looks like a filtered screenshot of that particular tower that's outside. Where is it? Where's tower? Where's tower? Oh, there it is. It's right there. Actually, it doesn't quite look like it. No, it doesn't. There's even crosses down below it. You can just kind of barely make it out. So I'd say this is probably a completely different one. That looks like poo-poo. They did give it... they gave it the canvas texture, but the actual like lines of the threading of the canvas are so large that it's like way too big. Of course, they had to make it look like that, so it communicated that it was a painting, but that is like way too big. Anyways, yeah, this actually looks a bit more like the tower model that they used for the Tower of Return that we're going to be going to probably 50 parts from now. But yeah, let's take a better look around here. Not too much to look at, though. Other than some dead wolves, there's going to be some ruins right there. We're going to go down there, and there's going to be some naughty men that need some spankings. I feel like this area is a little bit easier to explore than Limgrave because it's a bit more contained. Like, there's more of, like, sectoring of the area, where it's easier to explore. I wonder if I can just... I'm feeling lazy. I wonder if I could just... destroy everything in my path. And go right down... Boop. There. Okay. And we shall ride forth, sally forth, to the next waypoint. Which should be right there. Like right now, I noticed that my frame rate skipped all the way down to like 46. But to me, it looked way lower than that. Some of the Lost Graces are a bit... I don't know. You can tell that they kind of just put them wherever. In some cases. Like, some of them definitely were like pre-planned. But other ones, they are just kind of pooped haphazardly. Wherever they felt like they needed to put them. This is one of those. You can tell that it probably used to be like here. But I guess they thought, well, it's right next to here. It's not really that big of a deal. It should probably be somewhere more of a midpoint. And they're like, well, there's also an encounter here. We can't just put it there. I guess just put it here right before they would reach it. And that was their logic. But you notice here... Don't you run up on me right now. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? That was so rude. Okay. But here we have these gentlemen who are not happy to see us at all. Gravity Stone. Asshole. Gravity Stone junk. And they summon this big naked man. No. Stop throwing things. It's so rude. I don't like it when you throw things at my head. You beat up those poor gremlins. Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care. Yeah. Okay. Gravity Stone Fan, alright. So, big naked man. No, he's not naked. He's got a little bit of decency. But also has a bit of that weird, like, inscripted nonsense on his body. Kind of looks like something's been going amok on his body. You know how the Scarlet Rot bodies have that weird glowing red effect on them? And, like, you know how there's those weird hollow guys? Remember in the first few parts, I was going through Cadiz or whatever it's called? And I ran across that weird troop of Thriller rejects. And they're like weird zombie guys, and they're covered in this red sort of pattern all over their bodies. Like they've been on fire. And then we also came across some corpses that were being strung up, and they had sort of the same effect on them. There's also ones that are blue. They sort of look like that, and those little zombie men will grab you, and they'll shake you, and they absorb your magic, as well as your life. These guys have sort of that same effect on them, except it's white for whatever reason. And as we saw, everything that those guys were dropping is gravity related. And I remember we read an item description of some sort that I don't remember, where it said that there are like weirdos that try to summon things out of the sky or something like that. Something to consider, I guess. Shard of rock found in the wake of a meteorite strike. Blah, blah, blah. The desperate ones who scavenge for these shards dub themselves star callers. Yes, so these are basically pieces of meteorites. I don't know if meteorites have the same logic as they do in our world. It could just be that meteorites in this universe are actually physically pieces of the sky that are falling out of it. There's absolutely no way of knowing. Like, the logic of this universe doesn't make a lot of sense. Same thing. Yeah, okay. But yeah. Meteorites apparently fall to Earth. And we'll learn later that Radon is holding up the stars. Whatever that means. I have no idea what that means. He's doing it. Good for him. Such a strong, fit young boy. But he's holding up the stars, but apparently the stars do not include meteorites. So whenever it comes to meteorites, we gotta deal with it ourselves. And whenever those fall, sometimes people go out there and collect them. The so-called star callers. Although they don't really seem to be calling the stars so much as just hoping that they find them. And they're not stars or meteorites. Although I think that if you try to explain that to them, they would not appreciate it. Being a bit pedantic, aren't we? Okay, I'm trying to explore the top of this area just to make sure I don't miss anything. This is one of those little parts where I just never bother to actually explore anything in this particular area. But here's one of the things that will instruct you on how to find a catacomb, which I already have marked and I know the general location of, so that's not much of a big deal. But this is your vantage point to look down below. And you can see what's-her-face. Yeah. There she is. She's not dead, is she? Now, she's probably just sitting down, and it's kind of hard to make her out at this angle, in this distance. But it kind of looked like her body was... That would be unfortunate. Okay. But there is this guy up here. This is the one thing that I did remember. I couldn't remember if he was up here or if he was down below. Yeah, there we go. I can remove this. Pillage remains. Stone sword key. So this is another example of one of these guys that is sitting out in a chair in the middle of nowhere looking at stuff. And this one seems to be looking at the Erd Tree. Some of the guys that you find sitting in chairs are looking out towards the coast, or they're just looking at nothing. There doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason to it. Why exactly they are sitting, why it's in a chair, what they are looking at, the whole story behind it, I don't know. There is no information for me to go off of yet. Damn it, I wanted that skull. Oh well. We'll go down there and get it. Alright. There are certain things that I would like to prioritize today. Whoa, 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 calm down. There are certain things I would want to prioritize today. Because as I mentioned, there is a certain sword that I would like to farm. Which requires me actually having access to that catacomb. Little pest. There's a lot of pest enemies in this game. Later on, we'll actually run into an enemy that is quite literally called a pest. Like their actual title as enemy is just pest. And they do live up to the name, I'll give them that. Okay, so nothing actually over here. I seem to remember there being something, but I guess not. So let's go ahead and rush in here and grab this. I don't think we'll do it just yet, but it is here. Running around like a psychopath with 33,000 souls. But this does remind me, touch your grace here, something that I was going to comment on is I don't like the summoning pool system in this game. Summoning pools, I guess I can like go for it a little bit. If I remember correctly, yeah, there's something else, so fucking asshole. Little dick nugget. This one as well. Want to fall off the edge. Haha, I outranged him. Okay. Frame rate, come on. These things. They technically have some sort of name. I can't remember what it's called. Probably something of America, if I had to take a wild guess. Because everything is obsessed with America. But you have to go touch these things in order to activate the summoning pool. And of course, summoning pools are... Really? Summoning pools are, whenever you use this small golden effigy, instead of having to hand place a summon sign with this scroll finger, the golden effigy basically just tells the game, hey, put one wherever. Just anything that is even remotely in the area. Like, say, if I was right here and then I used it, it would probably try to find a summoning pool that was right here. And then if it couldn't find one, it would like move it out and be more like around this area. But it seems like if it goes too far, it just kind of just gives up and it doesn't even try to bother. The thing I don't like about them is that you can miss them. I'm sure that there's probably one or two that I have missed. Earlier today, I actually did go looking, trying to find all of them that I could. The interactive map that's on Vextra right now doesn't actually list them yet. Eventually it will, I assume. And there are no, like, actually good lists of where to find them. They're always by where a boss happens to be. They're always by where a boss is usually at. Hope you guys feel not the fury, but the extreme irritation. And now I've got to run across the entire map to move far enough away to where I can access my map again. Like there's one here at the White Point Ruins. There's one, I think, down here at the Dragonburnt Ruins. Actually, there might not be. There's one here because there's actually a boss that's under this area. There isn't one at the Mistwood Ruins, I don't think. And oddly enough, there is not one at Fort Heights because there's no boss there. But there is one here at the first step because that Tree Sentinel Knight is walking around. So the rules on where exactly there will be one are pretty loose. What was I trying to do? Okay, no, we've cleared up this part of. We've cleared up this, so we don't need to worry about this anymore. This is done. Okay. And of course, tower is done. The enemy that I killed here is gone. So let's go back down here. Whoop. Okay. So you can actually miss those pretty easily, the little summoning pools. Because they're not always, as we've seen, right next to the shrines. And sometimes you might not even be aware that there is a boss in the area. And sometimes you can be, but you just completely forget to touch the damn thing. Which was the case in at least one catacomb. I forget which one it was. But I did miss one of them, so I had to go back and... I was like going through all the catacombs, just trying to find the damn things. And then raking my face against it, seeing if one of them would just activate. Since maybe I'd missed one. And it turned out, yes, I did miss one. And that maniac is firing arrows at me, if you're wondering what that noise is. But I have to run over here and grab this. Might have to use a ranged attack on him, though. This is one of the ones that kind of just vanishes. Aha! Poison Mist. This is our very, very, very first incantation. I cannot actually use it yet, because I don't actually have the means to cast it, because we haven't gotten an invitation to the round table yet, which, again, is very strange. And I don't think there's anything up here. Like, some people have been praising, like, how there's so many things to do in this game, but really, like, as we have seen here, what is attacking me now? Is another one of those stupid dragonflies? Whatever. But as we can see, like, right here, there's just nothing in this area. Like a couple of mushrooms, but there's just a big expanse where there are no enemies, there are not even any, like, ambient life for you to farm, there's no random items to pick up. There's no dungeons, certainly. Aha! That's what it was. There was a single bear. So there was sort of something here. There was an asshole. So you can kill this one bear for a hefty beast bone. Hefty beast bone, better than thin beast bone. And it eats like a meal. Okay. There is also, if I remember correctly, a bunch of weird shit in this area. Yes, yes. So even, you can tell that that AI is like cheating, like very liberally, considering that we were like on the other side of the map, riding through the woods, and he's still managing to fire at us with perfect precision. And the only reason why we're not getting hit is because we're beyond his range. But yeah, there is this one area right here, which is sort of a lore area, I guess, that is, I guess, infested with... Is this scarlet rot? Let me actually test. I don't know if that's scarlet rot or not. It might just be, like, poison-ass poison. I don't know. Let's take a look around. I think it's just... Get the fuck away from me. I think it's, just these little zombie men. I think there might be like a squid or two or something around here. Can't quite remember. But there are these ruins here, and there are these guys that I was talking about. The poor, tortured little souls. Although they are not screaming right now. And this one golden rune pickup. So not really anything... Dude, please... I'm not gonna have to go down there and kill him. Oh, there's a crab here as well. Well, good for him. Okay, well there was... Here, hold on, let me go take care of this guy, because he's just not gonna leave me the fuck alone. I'll get up on these ruins first. Okay, let's go down here and try to take care of our friend, since he will not leave us alone. This would take much to actually get rid of him. Come on. There you go. Okay. You can rest now, sweetie. Gives you some great arrows. They're great. I think in the network test, this guy actually did drop a great bow of some sort, but not anymore. Which is unfortunate because I have no idea where to find a great bow. Not that it would matter since I have a dexterity build. And the reason why we still have enemy music is because this crab can't fuck off. But I wanted to kind of briefly look at this here. Dude, can you please just leave me alone? But these big mountainous... Tell you what, makes it really hard to do a analysis playthrough whenever enemies won't fuck off. But this is a very peculiar area, just because of the fact that there's this random poisonous bog in the middle of nowhere that has these rocky structures popping out of it, which look natural, I guess, unless they fell from the sky, which wouldn't really make any sense. But upon it, there are these, like, punished prisoners, and we still don't know why exactly these people are being punished. If they're even still alive or not, I have no idea. Because we do see that some of them are screaming sometimes, even if they don't move. And also, they're like little tootsies down here. Like, look at that little bitty footsie. Like, itty bitty little footsie. Looks like it's been shriveled up into nothing. And the other one is not even there anymore. Like, the other foot is just gone. So whether it's been burned off or something, I have no idea. The internal logic of what exactly these prisoners are, what they're being punished for, how they were punished, whether they were punished for being afflicted with rot, whether or not they were given this sort of rot, whatever it is, as part of their punishment, I have no idea. Why this bog is here as well, I also have no idea. Why this crab is here, I have no idea. Maybe it's just that there was a shitty bog that just so happened to be in the area all this time. And they were like, you know what's useful? That bog. Our shitty bog. The shitty local bog that we have. The shitty bog? The shitty bog. We should use our shitty bog. And so they did. By torturing people for God knows what reason. Okay. Let's get rid of our angry jellyfish. They're red, so you know that they're angry. Hey, hey, hey. Cut that shit out. Asshole. Ah, you fucking dick. Go on, get out of here. Okay. So here we have more of this shit. This time there are 3 chairs. One containing a somber smithing stone. This one has an arterial leaf, one of those leaves that is like weirdly fleshy, and supposedly very rare. And for some reason the game still thinks we're in combat. I have no idea. This guy has since fallen off into the water. Too bad for him. The other one is just straight up missing. So what exactly happened to him, I have no idea. This one is in prayer. Again, they're not looking at the Erd tree, they're just looking out to the sea for some reason. Have no idea. Come on. And why exactly those jellyfish were surrounding them and why they were angry at nothing, I don't know. Were they angry at them? Were the guys that were in the chairs somehow possessing the jellyfish? Were the jellyfish just reacting to their feelings? I have nothing to go off of, because there's no way to communicate lore without either extremely strong context clues or item descriptions, and I feel like if those things are explained, they're going to be explained so far down the road that by the time that I know them, everyone's going to know them anyways. The Siege of Castle Morn. A lone hero fights for his vengeance, only to fall at the hands of Lord Godfrey. So these things have been erected. The whole deal with this guy being betrayed by the demi-humans that are up inside of his castle, that just happened, supposedly. Like, remember, there's the lady up here, whose name I can't remember. There's her caravan that is, like, completely obliterated, aside from a couple of soldiers and a giant that's just taken a knee. So I guess that would have happened, like, yesterday, or the day before. I kind of doubt that it happened years ago. So it's not like someone rushed outside and built this monument to that, so this has to be something completely unrelated. The Siege of Castle Morn, so something that happens at some other point. A lone hero fights for his vengeance, only to fall at the hand of Lord Godfrey. So I guess this is your indication that Stormvale used to mind its own business, but at some point, whenever Godfrey, according to whatever his name is, according to Mr. Height, whatever his name is, I can't remember what his first name is. It's like Thaddeus or Nathaniel or some like kind of snooty name or something. According to him, Godfrey fled like a coward dressed as a woman whenever all the shit was going down in the capital. And after he did that, he fled all the way down here back to Stormvale, which I guess is where his shit happened to be. And after he did that, he decided that he was going to conquer this entire area. So he had no reason to going over here, I guess. But he conquered all of Limgrave, and then, like you see, the defensive structures were destroyed, and there's still like the Bridge of Sacrifice here still has a bunch of defensive measures erected around it. It seems like Godfrey is the one that caused most of the devastation down here. Like, supposedly after the shattering of the Elden Ring, all the demigods just started trying to vie for different territories and accumulate as much power as they possibly could. So I guess the logic is that during that era, that's where all these ruins started cropping up from. Like, the reason why everything is completely obliterated is because Stormvale washed out over the land, conquered everything, kind of just fucked up everything that they could get their hands on, went their way down here, conquered this, and so forth and so on. So now there's just nothing, almost nothing, except for their soldiers littering the area. And that particular one, that monument over there with all the swords, was weirdly erected in memoriam to the final battle, which would have been Godfrey besieging this castle and taking on one man that was out for vengeance. Presumably against Godfrey, I guess. Which you might wonder, if Godfrey won that battle, then why exactly would he or his men erect a memorial to this guy? Maybe it's best not to think about it. Let's go here and grab this waypoint. We're not gonna do this just yet, it'll take a little bit too long. I guess I'll go ahead and... look at that, talk to Melina. Hello, lady.
Me? I'm searching.
She has such pretty hair.
For my purpose, given to me by my mother inside the Erd Tree. Long ago.
Inside the Erd Tree.
For the reason that I yet live, burned and bodiless. There is something for which I must apologize. I've acted the Finger Maiden, yet can offer no guidance. I am no maiden. My purpose was long ago lost.
A little bit strange. So she claims, you know, she doesn't have a purpose. She's not a Finger Maiden, of course. Important information, she says that her mother... She was, I guess, with her mother inside of the Erd Tree at some point. Whatever that means or entails. Additionally, she claimed that she doesn't have a body anymore. Or she seemed to. Since I can't go back and evaluate what she just said, which I wish they would continue to have the option to talk to her. A little bit strange. It would seem that at some point she claimed that, I think she claimed that she was burned and that she lost her body as a result. Like there's just nothing left of her. And we see this happen a few times with other characters as well, where they just don't have bodies anymore. For various reasons. We'll see more of that certainly in the future.
Let my hand rest upon you. for but a moment. Share them with me.
Okay.
Your thoughts, your ambitions.
Oh, should I raise
the
dexterity?
principles you would follow.
One thing I do need to do is I need to get mine to up to 20. Might as well do that. Because if I'm going to be a faith character, I'm going to eventually need a lot of that anyways. Bye, lady. I wonder if I sit back down. Will it have... No, she's just gone. Okay. I wonder why I have not been invited to the round table hold yet. Am I not cool? Guys, am I not cool? There's nothing in here. Oh, it's one of those little weird cannon. These are... well, I guess it's more of a thing in China. But yeah, little gunpowder cannons. Okay, anyways. Let's not linger here too much. This area is generally now complete, aside from that. This is the thing I used to tell myself that I needed to get rid of that dude. Got that done. And got that scarab that's done. And now we can move up into this area, which is gonna take a while. So we better get started. Off we go. Remember like 5 hours ago when I was talking about summoning pools? I never quite finished that thought, I guess. You get the general idea, though. It's very easy to miss the things. But you could have alternatives to that system. And I'm trying to look around, see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, there's something down here. These dogs. God damn it, I hate dogs. At least on horseback, I have some minor advantage. Whoops, wrong side. There we go. Beast blood. What's that smell? Like, these guys are still alive. And as soon as I say that, they shut up. So yeah, they're still alive, I guess, even though they don't move, and still suffering with something. Pick up item. What lore could possibly be... I wish they would stop doing this. Like, there's so many times where I've run into something and I'm like, what is that? And in any of the other games, you would pick up something that's directly under it, and it wouldn't just explain what it is, but it would at least say something that would be enigmatic enough that you could put two and two together. But to put two and two together, you still need one someplace, and then one in another location. This game doesn't give you one. It just ends up it gives you the two, but so far later that it's almost useless to you. Oh well, all the games are sort of like that, though, to be fair. Where, you basically have to beat the whole game and then play through it again. Then, even after you play through it the second time, you're like, okay, I think I understand. And then you play through the game again with all that knowledge, and you're like, okay, now everything makes sense. It takes a while. Which is unfortunate because, you know, playthrough, but whatever. Alright. I did not know that Golden Seed was there. This is another thing I need to actually look up. Because I'm sure that I missed some Golden Seeds or Tears or things like that. Okay, more ruins. More generic ruins. More angry... What the fuck? Oh no. Another fucking death bird. No, we're not doing that. I looked over and was like, what the hell is that? It's a boss. He's gonna be chasing me for a while. Let's see. Anything else in this area? Just some birds. Some mystical goats. And this is where the wall actually was fractured. It's kind of weird. There is a cliff facing leading up to it, but this is where it obviously was blown out. So you would think... You know, there actually isn't that much of a... If I had to make up some bullshit... when would I ever do that? If I had to make up some fanciful bullshit... it could be that the reason why this is knocked out the way that it is. Okay, note a couple things here. Like, sure, everything is sort of in ruins in the first place, but the walls on this side are broken out. Like the barricades, whatever you want to describe them as. But on this side, they're intact. Is there any rubble on this side? There is not. Is there any rubble on this side? There is not. Well, then unfortunately that could work better. I was about to say that maybe if the rubble was like on this side, where it had been like punched through, then that would mean that the shot was actually coming from the castle. And if that was the case, then you would think that the armies of Godric, whatever the hell his name is. God, I keep trying to say Godwin, and it's really screwing me up. Would have at least fought their way up to here, and then taken this point as like a new offensive perimeter, even though it's a defensive wall. And at that point, they could have set up operations beyond the wall, maybe catapults or whatever, and then started trying to shell, or however you would describe it, the area. And then the castle could have responded. But also, if they had started from here, then they could have just knocked out this wall as a means of actually trying to besiege the area and get around the defensive perimeter. But you'll note that the wall over there is also completely shattered in the same way. So it could just be the result of disrepair. I don't know how long ago all this stuff happened. Maybe that's another thing that we'll find out in the future. I have no idea. Again, just not enough information to go off of yet. Maybe eventually we'll run across one item description or one NPC that just tells us everything. I always appreciate it whenever, even though this is just rower fruit, I always appreciate when there's like a little bitty blob of it all in one spot. Feels nice. Now we run across this random cabin in the woods, and the moment that we even remotely approach it, in come the angry rats. Yellow Ember. Remember Yellow Ember. Come here, you naughty rat. Now these rats have yellow eyes. Bear that in mind. Now what's the thing we just picked up? Yellow Ember? I don't actually know what that is. Maybe it is consumable? Crafting item? Key item? No. Okay, hold on then. Let me just glance over at my fucking memory. No, what the hell did I just pick up? And I even misremembered its name because my memory is so bad. Remember acquisition. Is it this? It is not this. Okay. Is it... Gosh, which one is it? This one. Okay. Smaller butterfly? No. Smaller egg? No. Wait, no, here it is. Here it is. Okay, Yellow Ember. Alright, alright. Found in lands afflicted by frenzy. The theme of this area is going to be frenzy. This is going to be the first time that we learn anything at all about it. The reason why the rat's eyes are glowing is presumably because it is related to that. Maybe it's because they've been eating the bodies of people that are afflicted with it. Maybe they've been studying frenzy, and they're just so smart that they learned how to cast magic from their eyes or something. Yellow Ember. Ember taken from the eye socket of a corpse. Material used for crafting items. A sign that the deceased suffered from the flame of frenzy. This grape, in other words eye, I don't know why they are so insistent on calling them grapes. This eye has ripened and burst. So if you use frenzy too much, not only do you potentially suffer from madness, but also, I guess, it causes your eye to turn into an actual ember that is also a grape, and then it explodes. or something. Oh, Elden Ring. I wish you were very slightly more clear. I understand your need to be cryptic, but it gets pretty rough sometimes. Alright. So, let's ignore all these horrible, horrible rats and go up here towards the town. If I remember correctly, there is a... should be a point of grace around in the general area. There's also a camp. A little bitty camp that this guy's resting at. And that guy had glowing eyes as well. So in addition to the rats studying the ancient ways, I guess people can too, believe it or not. Golden Rune, wow, amazing lore behind that one, I'm sure. And the fact that we can now use summons in this area is usually an indicator that bad news is about to start. Oh, you little bastard. Get out of here, you little rascal. Okay. What did this thing just call this? This is Ailing Village. I'm guessing that they probably named this village after the whole frenzy thing. It would be unfortunate to be raised in, like, I don't know, like in the 1800s if your town was called, like, AIDS Villa or something crazy. And then whenever the 80s came around, you're like, oh shit, oh shit. Like, why do they name it this? I don't know. Like, that would be extremely bad news. I wouldn't want nothing to do with that. That was for fun. So all these guys are rearing back. Being afflicted with the same deal. And they're dropping glass shards. And we're finding yellow embers on the ground here and there, which used to be eyeballs, I guess erupted out of people's skulls. Why exactly they're carrying around glass shards, I really don't know. Flame Crest wooden shield. Finally, something. Flame Crest wooden shield. A tall, medium-sized wooden shield, light for its size and easy to handle, carried by soldiers of the village that is afflicted by frenzy. This one! The yellow flame is the symbol of the affliction, serving as a warning to those who might approach the village. So, what is the logic of this? Like, did the villagers... Like, this is so... It's almost nonsensical. Like, did there used to be a normal village, and then they were like, you know what? We love this study of frenzy. This study of frenzy stuff is fucking lit. Let's change our name to Afflicted Village, because we also know that it kind of sucks. And then they're like, okay, soldiers that guard the village, we're going to make you guys some shields, right? And you're going to guard us and tell people to stay away from us. And it's going to look sick. Is that what happened? Like, you see what I mean? How... It's like the village exists as just Miyazaki saying, we need a village that is afflicted with frenzy. Let's make it thematic. There's going to be a shield there that has a flame on it. Our concept artist drew this. I think this would be a good place to put it. And that's it? Like, that's as far as he thought about it? Or whoever designed this area? I'm really, the more I learn about Elden Ring, the more I'm inclined to say that that's the actual answer. That it was just not given that much thought. Because a lot of things in Elden Ring don't really seem to have been given that much thought. Not everything, certainly. Like the more overt world-spanning issues of this game, yes, those do. Whenever it comes to like little bitty tiny granular lore details, no one seems to care in Elden Ring. Like, it's really nothing important. Alright, let's go in this shithole. Hello, Baptismal Church. Nice. I love you guys. Go get them, boys! They're great. Love them. Whoa, frame rate. Whoa, frame rate. Calm down. Oh, my God. I wonder what that looked like. That's going to be interesting on Bandicam. on the readout in the video editor. Oh, goodness. Okay. But yeah, why exactly these guys were all... Here it is. Oh my god, finally something to talk about. Oh, fuck me. Fuck. Why exactly those guys were dropping glass, I don't know. The little glass items are the things that you drop to make them look like they're items to pick up off the ground. To, I guess, presumably trick people whenever you're an invader. Although, the way invasions work in this game, I don't see how that would ever come into play. I guess I'll talk about more of that in a bit. Maybe they were shoving the glass in their eye sockets where the eyes used to be. Maybe that's the logic. Maybe it's like they had glass eyes, and that's what that's supposed to be. Flame of Frenzy, and a Sacred Tear. Okay. Flame of Frenzy. Flame of Frenzy. This is our second incantation in the entire game. It only took us 40-something hours. Mist Burst of Yellow Flame of Frenzy from the eyes. This is actually an okay incantation, but it's only really good for hitting big groups of enemies. If you try to use it indoors, if you try to use it against one person, if you try to use it against something that's moving too much, it is almost completely worthless. Incantation originating from the maddening 3 fingers. Ah, I was right. I remember at the very beginning I was like, if there's a 2 fingers, then there has to be a 3 fingers. And I was actually going to disagree with myself. I forgot about that last time. Because I did get to a later part in the game. Well, actually, it's not that much later. I've defeated one of the... I've got a Great Rune. And after you get a Great Rune, then you reveal the truth or whatever. And that's very, very early. But you run into I guess a Finger Maiden, I guess. And a literal 2 fingers. Which I thought were ball sacks whenever I first saw them. And I thought, well, maybe it really is just 2 fingers for some reason. I figured they were being metaphorical, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, well, I guess not. But I guess there are 3 fingers. Whether these are also literal things that are like actually 3 fingers, I don't know. Causes the yellow flame of frenzy to burst forth from the caster's eyes. Charging increases the range of the burst. Oh, okay. The flame of frenzy deals damage and causes buildup. If you're playing the game and you don't know this for some reason, some spells, if you hold down the cast button, it charges the ability and makes it stronger. Or makes it cast further or whatever else. I'm sure that most people know this, but there's probably like 1 or 2 people that are like, oh, I've never even thought about it. Because why would you? You know, honestly. The Flame of Frenzy deals damage and causes buildup of madness. You know, if you're part of a weird cult in a village that's like, we love going like crazy to the point that we're going to rebrand our entire village and paint our clothing and shields to indicate that we are crazy, and the one spell that you're taught makes you go insane, maybe leave. Move. Like, I know moving is hard. I can appreciate that, but, you know, maybe not that town. Maybe it's worth it. This incantation also causes buildup of madness in the caster, and is only effective against tarnished. It causes buildup of madness on the target. I knew it caused it on the caster, but I never even considered the idea of it working on someone else. But I think if you go mad, then you just straight up die. So it may as well say it causes a buildup of death. Ooh, please don't crash, Elden Ring. Please don't crash. Okay. That is complete. There's a scarab thing over there, I think, and there's also a point of grace, if I remember correctly. Also note that the little green thing that I have here, you'll notice that if I whip my camera around, I don't see any of them on my little compass up there, like I ordinarily would with a waypoint. Except for this one, because I'm very, very, very close to it. And that's the one time it actually will kind of just pop up. Aw, that's the sound of my little buddies leaving. Okay. Now, I didn't know the exact location of where this little scarab dude is. He's somewhere around here. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna kiss him. Then kill him. Maybe not in that order. Okay. And also I need to pick up that grace. Whoa. Oh yeah. These winged demi-humans are over here as well. I hate them. I don't like them. I don't even enjoy killing them. They're kind of just annoying. Oh, it's just more rats. Scream! Okay. But yeah, the way that invasions and co-op and everything works in this game is not ideal to me. I don't really care too much for it. Because as I said, the summoning pool thing, I don't like. I find the co-op in this game to be weirdly restrictive. Even though Elden Ring seems like it was designed for co-op, like they just gave up on that. And started designing it for actual co-op. It rarely comes up, in all honesty. Like, the catacomb seems to be the place where you spend most of your co-op experience, which is unfortunate because those areas kind of suck. Where in the world is everything? I knew that there was a... There's this, of course. And I know there's a... Maybe the scarab is downstairs, down the cliff. I can't quite remember. Well, I was way off about my... I was way off about that. Oh, I might be off about this, too. This is probably over here somewhere, then. This is going to be another waypoint that's actually down here. The scarab's down south, huh? We'll go check that then. I do wish that there was more co-op in the open world. But since you can't really do that without it being related to bosses, then it's just not really a thing. And like, to be fair, sort of fair, as you go on in the game, you will spend less and less time actually in the open world. Like, these maps, these big open maps that the game marketed itself on and became famous for, it feels like as you keep going on and on, you'll spend way more time doing shit underground, in these areas that are sort of the size of one of these little islands. I guess you could call them continents. They're not continents, but you know. These big land masses. They're about that size. But they're also very dense networks. But they're also kind of open, so they're kind of infuriating to explore, unfortunately. Yeah, I have no idea where the scarab is. I guess I'll just kill it off screen, wherever the hell it is. It's probably actually down the cliff, anyways. Hello, horrid rats. Please let me off tree. But I don't know what the solution to that would actually be. Because whenever it actually comes to co-op in an open world like this, like right now I'm just riding all over the place, and you wouldn't want the player to now be completely restricted on where they can go if they summon someone in. But the funny thing is, if you summon somebody into the game, like right here, the first step, because the idea is you're going to fight Tree Sentinel. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. You can just leave. You can completely leave that area and just wander off and just do random things with your co-op buddies. And, honestly, I never see anyone actually do that, though. Like, whenever I get summoned in, typically... Like, I've been doing a lot of that. I've been going into multiplayer and using this thing, and just waiting around for it to be summoned in, and 95% of the time, it is inside of a catacomb. Like, easily 95% of the time. I can get rid of this. And also, you need to go mark that horrible fucking bear cave. I hate this fucking boss. May as well show off this while I'm doing it. And what the hell was I talking about? Co-op. Yeah. 95% of the time it's a catacomb. Which is unfortunate because the catacombs kind of suck. And they're very samey. I don't know why things are dying randomly. This is another one of those things where you examine it and then the ghosty shows you where he wants you to avenge him. And I already know where it is, so I'm just going to ignore him. Because he doesn't do anything special, he just meanders around and then walks down here. It would be much nicer if you spent more time in co-op. Like, actually, I would consider Elden Ring co-op to not be really satisfying at all. I can remember one time, and all the times that I've actually been summoned in... Alright, that's marked. I can remember one time where I was summoned into where the tree sentinel was, and he was already dead, like he was long gone. So I was like, oh, what are we doing here? And the guy turned around and led us into the lake area to take on that stupid dragon. Which, of course, we instantly died because it just jumped up into the air and started breathing fire directly on top of us and started spinning in circles and all the lovely things that dragon enemies do in this game and in all the FromSoft games. And, you know, didn't spend much time doing that. So my co-op experience has been very, very limited in that regard. Shut up. I'm trying to avoid these guys. Because I don't want them following me across the map. Because there's something they need to take care of here. Actually, I think I'll just quit out and go back in. Because I don't want them stalking me across all of creation. Because I'm trying to clear out as many of these things as I possibly can as fast as I can, while still looking at stuff. Which, thankfully, so much of this Weeping Peninsula, I think it's called, is the name of this area. Like, there's Limgrave, and then there's, like, Caelid, and then there's the Weeping Peninsula. And the funny thing is, it's not even really a peninsula. Like, it's actually just sort of an island. Like, maybe it's... Like, if this is a peninsula, then all of this is a peninsula. Oh, whatever. Oh, I can get rid of this. There we go. Feels good getting those. Alright, let's concentrate on these dudes first before we start doing this other shit. May as well. There we go. I like trying to eke out every little thing I can. Dee-dee-ding. Ba-dee-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. I usually don't do it this way. But I really want to get rid of these guys as fast as possible. Stop that. I do hate it whenever the enemies just completely ignore your summons and they focus on nothing but you. Which is kind of useful in a way, but it's not really that satisfying. Like, it's good that the summons are able to just attack with impunity, but still. Don't. Wary of it doing random attacks. There we go. Okay. Because if it starts flailing, it's not going to stop. Alright, Demi-Human Queen's Staff. You remember that we... Up at Fort Heights, it was said that the Demi-Humans were throwing a tantrum because their mother had been killed. They didn't describe it as a queen, they described it as a mother. So that appears to be something very similar, if not the exact same thing. Crystal Burst. Okay. So even more sorceries. They really sucking sorcery's dick in the early game, aren't they? Like, most of these are probably not particularly amazing, but there's still, you get a lot of options. One of the Glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Ray Lucaria fires a burst of Glintstone crystal shards. This sorcery can be cast repeatedly while in motion, charging increased potency. A sorcery, the Crystal Cadre, again, we're doing this, A group of sorcerers who preserved wisdom stone secrets locked in the faint cognition of the crystallians. So the exact same dealio. Crystal Barrage, Crystal Burst have the almost same exact description. How fascinating. Thank you, Elden Ring, once again, for more fascinating content. I really appreciate it. Demi-Human Queen's Staff. Glintstone staff styled as a scepter. A gift once given to the demi-humans to foster peace. It can be wielded even by those of low intelligence. Sneered at by fools in the academy. What? Fools in the academy? I guess the idea is, that does sound like something a pretentious snob would do. They made this custom staff for a demi-human so that they could actually use magic. Because it has very low int requirements, I guess. But the actual mages in the academy were like, it's stupid. This scepter barely works. You barely need any intelligence to use it. This is just shitty. Whereas the actual politicians were like, let's give them the dumb scepter so that they won't kill people. Meanwhile, the academy people, it's stupid. I'm much better than that. I guess that's the kind of foolishness that they're referring to, if I had to take a wild guess. String. Ooh, string. I like string. Alright. And more of these stupid leaves. Oh, so much rich lore to talk about. Here's more generic ruins. The same generic ruin models that they use everywhere to make generic ruins. I guess this is where the demi-humans were living. The demi-human forest ruins. Yep. So I guess at some point humans built this stuff and demi-humans moved in. Whether this is ruins that were created recently from the war that happened with Godric, or whatever his name is, or whether or not this has just been here a long time, it is unclear. I guess I won't worry about it. Whoop. Because again, it doesn't really seem like there's that much to go off of. Alright. Now, it seems like there is a boss or something, or there's a treasure chest. There's some sort of bullshit around here. Hello there. I love having these little guys with me. This really is my co-op experience. Like, it's so much fun watching these guys run up. Like, there's one enemy that's, like, doing that, where he's, like, completely losing his mind, attacking a wall or something, because that's what FromSoft enemies do. More string. Yay. And he's just, like, bloodborning it up on the other side of the wall. Just slapping away, going crazy, ape shit. And you know, if you even step remotely in front of him, you would lose almost all your health and damage. But then your buddies come up from behind, and they're like, fuck this guy, and they just start stabbing him in his balls. Just, like, not even trying to go for the thighs. Just, like, directly, like, running up and just, like, just really just getting up in there. And this stupid Bloodborne style enemy like screeches. Because it doesn't like being stabbed in the balls because it can dish it out but it can't take it, right? And meanwhile you're on the other side of the wall laughing your ass off. Because fuck that guy, right? And your little summon guys who canonically enjoy one another's company are just really having a ball doing this as well. And then the enemy dies. He just dies. It's just a swell time for everyone. That's my co-op experience. It's actually way more satisfying than a actual human co-op. Because human co-op is just kind of you all this piling together into one, like, tornado of R1 mashing. And that's all it is. There has to be... Hold on for a second. What's the name of this shithole? Demi-human forest ruins. Okay. Demi-human forest ruins. Because it seems like there is... I have not played this game enough yet to remember exactly what goes here. Yes, there's supposed to be a crystal tier here. Oh, it's north. I don't remember this. Are you certain about this? Are you certain about this wiki? But anyways, yeah, and more of those stupid plants. It's supposed to be north? Where the hell would it be? There's nothing north except for, like, death. Directly east. Oh, it's probably going to be, like, up here somewhere. So it's not actually located in this area. Just down the cliff. Yeah, it's probably going to be over here. So, can't even actually reach that area yet. Although, there is a... Oh yeah, there's that shield. Wait. I think I remember. Because there's like there's like a cubicle sort of area where you have to use your horse or something to be able to jump into it. But where is it? Like, a lot of Elden Ring locations are designed like this, where everything kind of looks the same, but it's a big open area. So it's really easy to lose bearing on where you've been and what the hell's going on. Yeah, here we go. Like, you can sort of see inside of it, and this is supposed to be your hint. Oh, for God's sakes. I really hate getting right. Like, Elden Ring's a fine game, but there's lots of minor irritations with it. This is one of them. Okay, come on. There we go, alright. Do not care for that aspect of Elden Ring. You know why? That's how... Let me ask you guys a question. You can comment if you want to. What is your favorite and least favorite of the swamp areas in all the games? Because Dark Souls 1, of course, had Blighttown. Demon Souls had... I can't remember the name of it. But the place where you fought Estrella. 2 had the gutter. 3 had whatever the hell its name was. Personally, I hated 3 the most. I didn't mind Blighttown. Like, the frame drops and everything, memes aside, it wasn't really that big of a deal most of the time. Okay, let's go up this way. But the thing I didn't like about 3, in regards to its horrible, horrible swamp, like, they're all horrible. They're all meant to be horrible. But 3's I didn't like especially because 3, it's like this really big open area. It's not like Blighttown is sort of a straight line almost. You have to go over all these things that you can fall off of, certainly. Like, that's not fun. But you know where you're going, for the most part. And whenever you get to the very bottom, there's like one little bitty section where it is a little bit confusing. But for the most part, you're like, as soon as you get down there, you're like, okay, forward is where the boss is. Over to the left is where, like, a little optional little slug-filled area is. And over to the right is basically a wall. And there's not really going to be anything there except for the bonfire. And that's it. You basically know where you are. Hold on. Talk to Ghosty first, who's wearing commoner clothing. The mausoleum prowls, cradling the soulless demigod. Okay, the soulless demigod. I do remember, this is going to be sort of spoilerific in a way, but there was a comment about how one of the demigods lost not his body, but his soul. And that might be the demigod of death, I think. And that story is vague, I'm not going to go into it. But it's something for later, so he might be referencing that. The mausoleum prowls, cradling the soulless demigod, okay? So the mausoleum prowls? Like it moves around? He's not talking about the weird little turtly things, is he? Like, surely he's talking about this area. I don't know. We'll find out later. Okay. But the thing I didn't like about Dark Souls 3's swampy area is the fact that you can... It's just this big open area, and you can kind of get lost in that respect. Like 3, I eventually worked out a way of exploring that area. And it's sort of like exploring the maze. You sort of have to either go right or left and to stick to the walls. And go around the whole perimeter until you get to the place where there's like the bonfire and the place you eventually open up to proceed. And then after you have the entire perimeter mapped out, then you have to go in a little bit and then move back around and just keep like spiraling inside until you get to the center. But that process is miserable. That's what I don't like about Dark Souls 3's Swamp, is that no part of it is fun. It's not even engaging. It's not even really difficult in a lot of ways. It's just, especially if you're like 100% completionist like I am, it's just a miserable fucking slog. It's awful. And a lot of Elden Ring is designed in that same way. Where, like it's no swamp or anything, but the areas are just so big and so samey looking that you can spend a lot of time kind of just wandering around getting lost because you're going in circles, and you have to constantly open your map and sort of figure out, okay, well, I think I've been here. And it's not like a Ubisoft game or something where it leaves little dotted lines where it shows you, no, you've totally been here, don't worry about it. I remember there's supposed to be some sort of sacred tier or something around here, which I would love to be able to just get off on screen right now, just have it done. Hold on for a second, actually. Shield of the... Yeah, I didn't read the Shield of the Guilty. That's what it was. I knew it was something. Let me redo that real fast. Shield of the Guilty. Shield made to venerate a maiden whose eyes were crushed by briars of sin before being reborn in these lands. Okay. So this is someone who used to exist outside of these lands. I really wish they would name the fucking area that we're in. Like Lordran, it was so nice to be able to say, oh yeah, this is Lordran. What are the areas that are outside of it? Oh, I don't know. There's like Katrina, there's Kareem, like there's all these nations. Whereas in Elden Ring, it's like, these lands, what are they? These lands, great. Okay. Anyways, there are places outside of wherever we are, and there was a maiden whose eyes were crushed by briars of sin. And briars of sin, I think of the things that are put onto your body whenever you have committed some sort of minor grievance, like some minor crime. So I guess this is a case of her being punished for something, and it got a little bit out of control, and her eyes were crushed, or something. Venerating the repose of the soul, this... What? Venerating the repose of the soul? Shut up. This shield boosts focus. The briars can be used to attack foes. Oh, okay. So they like shoot out? I never actually tried using it before. I guess I will, since I just said that. I shouldn't have said anything. Let's try using the shield. Okay, so the little things do not actually shoot out. But I get the idea. I understand the spirit. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm trying to find the Faith Not Crystal Tier. It is north of the Demi-Human Forest Ruins. It is directly east of the Church of Pilgrimage. It is just down the cliff in a bowl under a tree and surrounded by poison flower enemies. I remember seeing those assholes. Where the hell? Down there. Oh god, I'm so far up now. I almost feel like I need to start in a completely unrelated character, like another new character, just to explore this area, to get in practice for exploring it, you know? Like, whenever you're trying to do 100% collection of things in an area that's like this, it is kind of miserable. Okay, guarded by flower enemies. Great. Where is it? Down there. There it is. Okay. Wow, it's kind of just in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Wow, the audacity to put an item like that here. Faith Not Crystal Tear. Wow, that's really... I mean, I rode right past it, but still, it's so dickish. Like, there's no major things in this area at all. It's just like some random-ass tree in a corner that has a bowl under it. How rude. Isn't that rude? Leave a comment in the comments section below if it's rude. Okay, let me access the... Oh, let me access the map. That's another complaint I have with Elden Ring. Like, yes, I know I'm under attack, so I shouldn't be looking at a map right now. But at least, whenever I open the thing, just have it say, like, you're under attack or something. I still need to be able to look at it sometimes. Oh, gosh. But anyways, yeah, that's how Elden Ring is generally designed. There's a lot of those sorts of areas where the area that you're in is a little bit too big and it's very confusing to look at. Alright, Catacomb achieved. Alright, that's done. Well, I thought it was in really the wrong position. I didn't think it was that far down. Alright, there's that bad man. There's some stuff over here to do as well. Okay, I guess I'll ride up and do it that way. Then I can teleport back here. Anyways, summoning pools. Remember that conversation? How would I deal with that? How would I deal with co-op in this game? How would I deal with invasions? It's such a big conversation. It's so hard to The nice thing about playing through Dark Souls 1 is that I knew everything, and that shit is right in front of you. It's just right in front of you. Who's trying to attack me? You son of a bitch. Horse, you are just about worthless for this. Hate trying to attack things on the fucking horse. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll do it this way. It's easier to do it this way. I don't think I've ever even gone down... Yeah, I have gone down there before. I have, and it sucks, if I remember correctly. You can go across this bridge, but there's next to no reason to do it that way. Oh, I guess I'll have to explore that in my off time to make absolutely sure that I didn't miss anything down there. It's just such a pain in the butt. Okay. But I need to go down here. But as far as co-op goes, I really wish that there was more general co-op. Here's a way of putting it. This is something that I've always wanted in all the games. Generally in these games, how it works is you put down a summon sign and you get summoned into someone else's world because you want to be summoned. Fuck off. Here, let me get off this stupid horse. Switch over my actual weapons. God, there's so many of these things down here. They're really annoying down here. Especially whenever they do multi-hit attacks like that. That's especially fucking annoying. Where they just stun you repeatedly and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's a million goddamn bats. There's a million fucking bats. Just fucking die. Think after I killed like 90 of you fucking things, then you would learn. Okay. And of course, there's even more of them up here. Heaven forbid I have time to think about the things I'm trying to discuss, trying to entertain people, trying to discuss things that are interesting. But there's a million goddamn fucking bats all over the place. Did that thing actually get hit by lightning? Oh my god, it's actually running because the lightning hit it. The game is actually trying to fuck me over. The game randomly fucked me over for something I had no part in. Which means I'm gonna have to kill these things and then quit out. Fantastic. Another thing these games do wrong. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. But one thing that I've always wanted is, instead of putting down your summon sign because you want to be summoned, I wish that there was a way for that to work in reverse, so that the host would be like, I need help. And... hold on, let me focus on this stupid thing. Stop running. Stop fucking running and just die so I can get this over with. There we go. Okay, lightning strike. Okay, first off, lightning strike, keep them ahead. See this small golden effigy? It will work like this. You would be the host, you would have an item like this, but instead of you sending your summon sign to a bunch of cooperative pools, summoning pools, and all your signs show up there, instead it would just be you open up your world and are just like, okay, anyone that wants to help me, come help me. And then someone would have a nearly identical item, and then they would use theirs, and if you match up and you're like in a very similar area or whatever, then that person would show up wherever you happen to be. Or you get a message, someone is arriving to your world, and that might be your indication to stop moving so that the person can actually show up and know where the hell you are. Because these games, I'm certain that FromSoft wouldn't be able to figure that part out. Ideally, they would just teleport to you, but, you know, whatever. Lightning strike, trying to find... there it is, okay. I never did read the poison one, did I? But I wish that it worked like that, and maybe it could work on a timer, sort of like the small soapstones in Dark Souls 2, so that they're only there for a brief amount of time. And then after they help you and then they vanish, maybe that item goes into a cooldown and you can't use it again right away. Like, just something like that. Just because the logic, it always made more sense to me that the host would want help, and they would call for help themselves. Not the reverse. Like, it wouldn't be the people that want to help others that would be like, I need to help! I need to help! And then you would have to go find them. Like, they never really... like, I get it, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it would be nice if something worked in reverse in that respect. Anyways, okay. Poison Mist, incantation of the Servants of Rot. So there are Servants of Rot, I guess. Releases a poisonous mist before the caster, incantation cast while in motion. Those who dwell within poison know rot all too well. The death that begets life, that comes to all equally. That is to say, it is the cycle of rebirth put into practice. Sure. Sure. I'm a servant of Gun. I'm one of the servants of Gun. Those who use guns know all too well that life begins with death. So whenever I shoot you, it's actually like the cycle of rebirth put into practice, if you think about it. Shut up. Dipshit. Fucking sophistry. So yeah, there's Servants of Rot. That's all we know. People serve rot. Good for them, I guess, for now. Lightning Strike. This spell, I was excited to get it. It's pretty much worthless. It barely deals any damage unless you have shit tons in faith, as I recall, and it does not have particularly great tracking. It might be more useful in PvP as a catch roll, like a roll catcher. Maybe? I don't know. One of the incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. Ooh, dragons, so strong. Summons a bolt of lightning that scatters and spreads around the surrounding area. This incantation can be cast repeatedly. Sort of. You imagine being like, I'm sure that you're imagining like lightning strikes just, like, right now. What's happening right here? Like that. You're probably imagining that, just like, it's not that. Yeah, like, it's way shittier. Ancestors of the modern dragons, ancient dragons had... Ancestors of the modern... What? Ancestors of the modern dragons, the ancient dragons, had scales of gravel stone... Wow, that's really shitty, stone scales. And wielded lightning as their weapon. Ooh, turning the tables, aren't we? No more dragons being inflicted by lightning. What What's with Miyazaki and, like, lightning, stone, dragons, and trees? Like, he's just, like, rearranging those Lego pieces. It is said that once they attacked Lindale, the royal capital, why would they attack them? Well, whatever, I guess. Didn't... The dragons used to have a lord of some sort that they also served, and they turned themselves into walls to protect them. Which is why I insinuated, or inferred, that maybe the ruins that fall down don't... Backing out of the menu too fast. I fucking loved this. I love everything about this game. It's so great. And of course we end up back here, for God's sakes. Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. Okay. I do like being able to send my sign to a summoning pool. That is a good system. That is a good idea. Having them relegated to these completely missable, incredibly tiny totems that are not tracked on your map in any meaningful way. Actually, they're not even tracked at all. That's the part that's bad. Like, one, the fact that they are missable. Two, the fact that they are extremely specific to the point of being almost completely worthless. Also, three, the fact that you're putting them in things like catacombs, even though catacombs are so incredibly constrained in terms of their design that there is really no point to even having them there. Go away. I'm trying to remember how to get down here. I think actually may not be possible to get down. I'm gonna have to kill these things so I can look around. Oh, I know, you're so strong. How dare I show up in this area that you have obviously built your fucking homes in. You have a fucking apartment down here. There's a complex, I'm sure. How dare I show up? Can't mind your own fucking business. Alright, Oh, here's more. Ooh, he's angry about it. I'm sorry. Did the development district, did the government federal housing tell you to come down here and beat my ass for showing up? Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how they get down here without killing myself. I don't think I actually can. I'm actually gonna have to go back up. This is so stupid. I hate doing this. Okay, anyways, how best to handle this? As far as the open world is more of a... Actually, no, it's not. I was about to say, in the open world it's more of a problem, because then you would have to worry about how to sequester everyone into very specific areas that they can't leave or something. Then I remembered, if you summon someone into one of these things that's actually in the open world, you can go anywhere you want to, and it doesn't matter. So it's kind of a non-issue. Motherfucker! I'm gonna get off my horse and beat your fucking ass for doing that. Fucking piece of shit. Mind your own fucking business. I don't give a shit what you're guarding. Guarding your stupid, gigantic tree girlfriend over here. I'll kill her later, too. Yeah. Well. Okay. I need to get down here. And I need to concentrate so I don't fucking die in the process. Might have to actually go to the other side, because that might be the only area that has these stupid tombstone things sticking out the side. No, here we go, here we go. Oh, don't you fucking dare take damage from that. Boop. Boop. Okay. This is the same area. God damn it. Here, hold on. Go away, bats. This is how you make bats go away. Okay. So the open world is not really much of a concern. I think how it probably should actually work is... How should it work? What would be the easiest way to do it with the least amount of complications? Please don't come up here. Okay. I think I'll just go up top. I can never remember how exactly I get down to this area safely. I think usually I stubbornly try to just jump down that area and, like, sort of affix myself to the walls. And it does sort of work, but not particularly well. Maybe I can... No, not there. Whoop. Well, I can use that, but then I'll have to go down here. There is a path down here. There is a path down here. That might lead to my death. That probably will, in fact, lead to my death. I'm trying to get to that stupid cave down there. But unfortunately, they have to make everything a nightmare to try to traverse in this game. I'm going to be stubborn and try to get over here. Sometimes, for some reason, even though you're on the horse and you are not jumping far enough down that it will kill you, if you travel a far enough distance horizontally, it will kill you because the game is like, wow, you've been in the air a long time. So it just kills you out of courtesy, because it's just being nice like that. Also, now that I'm up here, there doesn't really seem to be much of a place to travel. Horse got a little bit too frisky there. Torrent, behave yourself. Wonder what this message says. Someone else got up here, and I think the only way of actually dealing with this is to jump into that stream. Why did you... It ate my jump. Sometimes it does that. I don't know if it has something to do with the jump being on the stick or not, but it just didn't register it. And whenever that happens, you're not allowed to use 2 of them. Which means that now that my runes are stuck over there, which is just fantastic. I fucking love this game. Love it. Deer? Okay. Concentrate. Concentrate on the thing I was trying to say. Where the hell is my shit? There it is over there. Oh my god. Okay. Here. Now let's do this again. Try not to die in the process. Okay. Retrieve lost ranks. Now this time, Torrent, please actually use the jump. Haha, got it. Ah, alright. I'm sure that there was like, oh no, you just go down these stairs and you're there. I'm sure there's something, but don't know the shit well enough. No, Bet. No. Not now. Dear sweet, merciful baby Jesus, not now. I'm here too. Pay attention to me. No. Okay. Hello thing I was complaining about. You can miss these. They're really easy to miss. Like, it's so stupid. You would think that whenever you see these things, like whenever you walk into this area, like sure they teach you at the very beginning because one of them has an item on it. Like it has a co-op item, whatever. But most of the time, you can just walk right past it and not even notice it's there, because you're just thinking about other shit. You would think that, one, these things would be, like, massive. Like, they would be actual statues. And you'd be like, oh, holy shit. And not only that, they would be, like, glowing. Like, whenever you see one for the first time, it's, like, glowing red. And you're like, ooh, I don't like that. Or it's, like, glowing... Let's say that's glowing, I don't know, what's a more friendly color? People would want to approach it. Like it's glowing blue. Like it's blue. And you walk up to it, and then you interact with it. And then whenever you interact with this big statue, then it glows golden. Because then you know it's activated. Whereas now it's just some shitty little piece of crap that's just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. You can totally miss these. And I guess that's supposed to be the challenge? Can you find them all? Gotta catch them all. Summoning pools? Fuck you. Make these things more obvious. What a shitty system. Well, I found them all. No, you didn't. I guarantee you've missed some of them. I found them all. No, I really did. You know, you didn't. I'm gonna... That's amazing. I was like... I was tiptoeing my way into the corner, and then it actually, like, slid me off. I don't mind that, though. That's kind of funny. I would have minded if he had actually slipped off just then as I was trying to pick those up and fall into that pit. But as far as the summoning system goes, please don't crash. It's part of it too. I keep losing frames. Being able to just do it wherever you want to is not great. I do like the idea that there are specific areas that you would have to like start at. Especially in an open world environment like this. Otherwise it gets a bit out of hand. Okay, I've gotten both of these. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, now I have to warp back and then go over here and take care of that. Goodness gracious. Actually, like, the process of just mapping out a new area is kind of miserable. Because it's a lot of this. Like, you're not actually doing anything, you're just wandering around. Trying to pick up garbage. Wait. No, I need to take the top route. I do because there is, like, a shield that I need to get. Now, mind your own business this time. I don't know, do you guys get that too? Where you're riding past an enemy, and instead of being like, whoa, like, ooh, a human, oh my gosh. And they, like, react that way for, like, a split second. And that's long enough for you to, you know, just ride past them unaccosted, right? Instead of doing that, ever so often you'll run across one of these enemies that instead of being, ooh, human, they're like, fuck you. And they have, like, this 5-frame attack where they just instantly hit you for free damage. Don't you also get this impulse of, like, random video game anger? Not like actual anger, but like video game anger. Where you're like, oh, fuck you. Because in your mind, you didn't deserve that. You didn't do anything to warrant that. More importantly, the enemy didn't earn any damage. It's just, like, out there jerking its dick in the middle of some fucking bush in the middle of nowhere, doing nothing with its time. Because enemies don't do anything in this world other than just wander back and forth. Fingering their buttholes and then licking the juice. And that's all they do with their lives. What? That's what they do! That is exactly what they do. Hello, big turtle, rock, church thing. And then he just turns around and gets some free damage. Wow, the fucking reaction time on this dude must be absolutely crazy. Oh, by the way, my icon on this waypoint was, like, really on point. Had to have at least one win today. Okay, I guess I'll go... maybe I'll try... I've never tried rotating north. Okay. Okay. Anyways, summoning pools. I do like the idea of them being in set locations, so I think there should be way more of them. Like, you see, like this. You see this, like this statue is supposed to tell you that there's a catacomb right under it, right? Like, there should be more of statues, like, of that size, this visibility, to where you're attracted to them, you can see them, and they're, like, glowing and shit, maybe lightning is striking them, I don't care, just make them visible. And those are your summoning pool items. And, you know how it would work especially well if there were fewer... If there were fewer points of grace on the map, but those statues that I'm talking about, the summoning pool statues, also worked as points of grace. And you could warp to them. which would solve the problem of catacombs. You go down to the catacombs, what's down there? There's a point of grace, and then right next to it is a summoning pool statue. Although sometimes, for some reason, the summoning pool statue is like a little bit ahead past like 2 or 3 enemies. I don't know why they do that. It's kind of annoying. I get they want it to be right next to the boss room, but just don't do that. Like, it's not that big a deal. So that's like point 1 in my 60-part rambling, meandering idea fest for how to slightly improve a system that is not, like, bad. Get off the horse. Get off the horse. Oh, I hate being on the horse. It's just so hard to hit anything. Well, with the things that I'm using anyways. I'm going to have to upgrade the flail. And I'm going to actually have to level up to the point where I can actually use the damn thing. I don't even know if it's really worth it. There's like 1 or 2 items that I figured I would very, very, very late game. Hello. End up using. Motherfucker. Another thing I don't like, whenever enemies give you absolutely no time to do anything, and they're just incredibly aggressive, because they really want that damage. Like, that's the thing. They just want to deal a little bit of damage. They know that they're going to die, but they just desperately, fucking desperately, like, it keeps them up at night, just crying, going to sleep, thinking, one day I'll be able to attack the human player. I'll be able to attack the human player and take off 50 health points. Maybe just 25, but maybe 50. And mildly annoy them. And then, like, 500 other enemies will do the same thing almost. Most of them won't attack and hit them, but maybe one will. And my small contribution will be just annoying enough that maybe I'll be able to actually contribute to their death in some way. That's their fucking dream! That's their goddamn dream in life! They don't want to have kids. They don't want to get rich. They don't want to repair their shattered childhood or whatever. They don't care. They just want to rush at you, wildly flailing their arms, just like weeping inconsolably as they do so, just for the slim chance that they'll be able to slap you a little bit and take off like 3 or 4 health points. It's their fucking dream. Hate that shit. Okay, Wing Scythe. This actually does scale pretty well with Faith, so this might be a good thing for me. See? Has native Faith scaling, and has blood build-up. I actually hate the way this weapon looks. It's just so it is not a weapon. Hold on, let me just equip this stupid-looking thing. Here, look at this thing. Look at it. You really think this is going... Like, do you think this is actually going to cut anyone? This is definitely one of those, like, fantasy MMO-style weapons. Their wings are like angel wings in the shape of a scythe. Oh, it has such good stats, too. It's... I don't know. I'm such a Spartan person, and I'm very pragmatic, and that's just my personality. But every time I see someone using something like this, the only thing I can think of is, wow, that is so goddamn stupid looking. That's the only thing I can think of. But it is one of the best weapons that you can use at this point, so unfortunately I might end up using it. Who can say? Maybe it'll come up, maybe it'll come up. Oh, I should probably read the damn thing. I absolutely must. Sacred Scythe, oh, I'm sure it is. Hey, it looks like it has angel wings. It's gotta be sacred, right? Because we're all dipshits here. Like we're all dumb as rocks. We're all elementary school level intelligence here, aren't we? Yeah, it's got angel wings. It's gotta be sacred. Duh! It's just that angel is holy. Right, sorry. According to pagan belief, white-winged maidens are said to be death's gentle envoys. Great, okay. So this apparently is not part of the Erd Tree tradition, but according to dirty pagans, white-winged maidens are said to be death's gentle envoys. There actually is like a demigod of death, so whether it's capitalizing death because it's like the actual, like, our world version of death, or they're actually referring to the demigod as death, I don't know. If they're referring to the demigod as death, that's kind of strange, because why would that be pagan? Right? No, don't you fucking dare. I bet this motherfucker's gonna try to explode too. No? Okay, good. Divine Fortification. Ugh. I think that's what this was. I wasn't sure where it was. I knew it was in this area. That's done as well. Not gonna touch that motherfucker. Let's go down here, I think. Try to be safe. Safety first. Although that is a little bit confusing. Maybe that is what that was. I don't know. Maybe I'll stumble upon something nice. Kind of doubt it, though. But remember, I was... remember, like, 5 hours ago, I was talking about invaders having the same problem? Yeah, invasion's not really much of a thing. Okay, we are here, but maybe it's down here. Whatever it is that I marked that I don't remember. Oh, that's what I remember. Oh yeah, I've never done this catacomb before. I always forget that it's here, and then I never go do it. Let's do this first so I don't forget. Like, it really... even as stupid and shitty these little things are, it should have like a little flame or something that pops up above it. Or like a little light, a little point of grace light. You know how you have... like, you see those little embers that are floating around the point of grace? The little bitty dots of light? There should be like one that pops up right above it, just to show you that it's active. There is absolutely no excuse for them not having something like that. Like, that is a design oversight. I am very willing to criticize this game. This is a good game. It has lots of minor flaws in it, though. Not really big deals, but, you know, they are there. There are many, many ways to improve this game. And it's easy to criticize them because it's apparent that they're there, because the development time, I'm sure, caused a lot of things to be rushed. You can tell that aspects of this game are rushed. I kind of doubt that those things will be ironed out over time, because, not to harp on it, but like, Japanese development tends to be a little bit different than a Western development. Like, a Western development team will just, like, they'll go crazy and just completely patch out whole sections of the game because they're just nuts. Whereas in Japanese development, it's more, this is what the game was. We released it. It is now, what you see is what you get. We're not going to change any of it. If we can't finish it before we release it, then it's just not going to be finished. And they might add on new material, but if something is like in the wrong place, then that's where it's going to stay. If something is really badly fucked up, it's going to stay fucked up. And the one time in the history of FromSoft that had changed was Dark Souls 2. And even then they had to release a completely new iteration of the game. Which, if you think about it, even today is fucking wild that they actually did that. There we go. Okay, get rid of that. Alright, we're making some progress. Almost done. And there should be like some skeletons guarding some crap out here. Come on, Torrent, you could do it. Yeah, there's like some sort of bullshit around here somewhere, I think. Are they out here? No. Am I misremembering? Probably. I feel like I've lost my mind the past two parts. We're doing so well. I left a comment in like part... what is this? Part 8 that we're doing now? But I left a comment in like part 6 where I was like, this is probably the best part I've done so far. It's the golden age of the LP now. and it will last exactly 1 episode. And I said that as a joke, and I knew... Well, I said that as a joke, but I also was like, I'm probably going to be right about that. And I feel like I was, because the last part was a lot of meandering about and trying to form thoughts and not being able to do so because too much was going on. This one is much the same. And I am more irritated with it than you guys are. I can promise you that. Speaking of which, I have to try to figure out how to get down here. Okay, alright, good. Alright. But yes, invaders, I have almost never seen invaders in this game. There are 2 places I've ever seen them. And that is whenever I am trying to find someone to, like a host to summon me in, and I'm sort of in this area, I will very often get pulled in by new players that are trying to figure out how to kill this enemy because they're being stubborn. And they'll usually bring in 2 people, which is a bad idea with this guy. His health goes up way too high. And having those 2 extra people show up is enough to bring in usually an invader. Although typically the invader either rushes into the middle of the boss fight and dies, rather foolishly and hilariously, or the invader just sort of sits there and watches, because it's the fucking tree sentinel, and they don't need to do anything. Or, which is usually more typical, is one of the people, which usually ends up being me, has to preoccupy the tree sentinel boss, while the other 2 go have fun fighting the invader. And then they kill the invader and come back, or if the tree sentinel's on its last legs, I'll try to finish it off and then go try to take care of the invader or something like that. Although by that point you're already summoned out. And the only other point where I've ever really seen an invader is over here at the Waypoint Ruins. You'll sometimes get summoned in here to fight the big angry pumpkin head guy. And you'll sometimes run into an invader there, although I've never fought anyone there. I've only seen someone pop up and sort of run after us as we were going in the boss fog, and this happened like 3 or 4 times.
It's been an age since I've seen a customer. How can I help here at the end of the earth?
Yeah, we are kind of at the ass end of the planet. Okay, so I did look this up. I was really eager to get down here so I could finally buy the stupid fucking thing. Lantern, one of the most useful items in the game. A small waste-worn lantern that illuminates surroundings. Use once to turn on, again turn off. While its light is dimmer than that of a torch, it has the advantage of freeing up the user's hands. I'm somewhat surprised that this does not have like a fuel resource or something. It's just free light. I almost don't understand why it's even in the game. Because there's not really a restriction to using it. You can just have it. You can just have it. Walking Mausoleum. Contains information on religions. I'll buy that. Don't let me forget about it. Most of the rest of this stuff is just arrows and the sacrificial twigs. I don't think I've ever... A talisman fashioned from a dry twig, so slender my person. Yeah, I've read this. Believed to be a twig pruned from the ard tree long ago, because of that. Zweihander? Just about the largest sword a mere man is capable of swinging. True to its name. By the way, historically, there were swords that you would visually recognize as being quote-unquote Zweihanders. Of course, it just means, like, two-handed. Like, it's just another term for a two-handed sword. Historically, swords didn't have names. All the names that we supposedly have for various kinds of swords these days are things that were just very, very, very recently invented. Like in the past 200, 300 years. And a lot of them are like this, where it's just German for, two-handing a sword. Or it's the name of a city that's associated with the use of a particular thing. Like, I think Lucerne even is like that. Or it's just a literal name, like Bastard Sword. And it's called the Bastard Sword because of the idea that it's not... It's sort of an all-shoot design because it's a hand-and-a-half sword. Like, it's that sort of logic. And we use cute little names for all these things, but they never had... They were just sword. Just, I need a sword. And how exactly they went about deciding on what the design was up to the local blacksmith, I guess. And they just so happened to just follow the needs of the time. And like, take a claymore example. You guys know what claymore looks like. It has well, in the video game, what a claymore looks like, because it has the quillions, the part of the hilt that comes out, and they sort of face upwards in a way. That was something that it's not really good or bad necessarily. It's just something that was very indicative of the people that were making them. And they made everything look like that. It didn't matter if they were big two-handed swords. It didn't matter if they were smaller ones. That's just what they did for whatever reason. It was just their signature that was very popular in that area. And there was just a lot of stuff like that in regards to the historical precedents that people had for how they made swords. Like the idea that, no, this is a Zweihander. It has to look like this. This is its design. That was never a thing. And I can't even remember why I brought that up. But it's just an interesting factoid. Anyways, just about the largest sword a mere man is capable of swinging. True to its name, it is designed to be wielded in both hands. But they actually reference the fact that it's a German name with a translated name that means exactly that. That is kind of weird. But those of merely ordinary strength will struggle to do so. In real life, I think a Zweihander was probably like 8 to 12 pounds, so you would have no trouble picking it up. You would, of course, need training not to lop off one of your own legs or something, but still, it would not actually be an issue. The long blade is heavy and sharp, sending foes reeling back with its broader strokes, while also capable of devastating piercing thrust. Okay, great. I'll come back and buy all this garbage in the future. Lost Ashes of War. I think this is the first time we've seen one. Empty Ashes of War, devoid of any memories of battle. This is so weird. An empty Ash of War. Like, what is an Ash of War? Unable to apply any kind of affinity in their current state, but can be used by Smithing Master Hugh of the Round Table Hold to recreate other ashes. Thus does the copy pass into becoming the genuine article. What are they? An Ash of War. How do you make an Ash of War, much less one... Like, the way that it was described by the War Master was this idea that an experienced soldier, whenever they die, may actually leave behind this weird physical manifestation of their knowledge of how combat works. And they will leave behind this actual physical Ash of War, this thing that you can equip that actually, like, allows you to know how to do the things that they did. But why would you leave behind an empty one? Like, if an idiot dies in war, do they leave behind nothing? And then the nothing is... Like, what... Video game. Just shut up, it's a video game. That's that's what I'm going to assume. Alright, Walking Mausoleum. We need to check that. Alright, Walking Mausoleum. Here we go. To stop the mausoleum stride, you'll need to clean up around its feet first. That is incredibly vague. Also, you will note that the mausoleum right now is not even moving. I've noticed it stopped twice. This is the second time. And the other time, it was also raining. Whether that has anything to do with it, I don't know. Which you would think if the ground started to get wet, then it would want to not move around. But that again is a giant multi-ton object, and I doubt that it would be able to walk either way. Oh, there he goes again. So maybe not. Maybe it just had to take a poop. Anyways, returning to my thing about invaders, I guess. This is going to be a broader subject. I don't think I'm going to bring it up this time around. About the general woes people have had with the way that invasions work now. Because you cannot invade someone unless they have co-op people with them. I won't go into that. That'll probably be next time, because that's a much more complex and broad subject with a lot of nuance to it, I guess. I'm trying not to go into this because you see you get poisoned for doing so. Actually, hold on. Let me just make some shit. Wow, I really don't have many of these, do I? Or maybe I've used some of them. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I've got 6. There we go. Get over here. Yeah, get them, boys. Go fuck them up. Fuck up them puppets. Okay, maybe I can jump on something? Yes, I can jump on something. Come on, jump on something. There we go. Now, that's the problem. This weird-ass thing. It's like a big orb that has tons of faces on it. Actually, I said it's like that. That is exactly what it is. Oh, great. I was standing in... Oh, great. It's fucking great. I was standing in poison the whole time. Fantastic. Wow, that does nothing. Okay, never mind. Wow, that did... that was way more effective. Alright. Also, wow, my little dudes got really fucked up. These puppets are no joke. There's also a lot of them in this area. That's why they're no joke. Because they're another one of these fucking modern FromSoft enemies that goes ape shit. Okay, there we go. You go away. I can't remember if there's any enemies down here or not. I hope not. Because then I'll be angry. Oh yeah, it's this thing. It's like, don't you come in here? Asshole, mind your own business. Ambushard. And also this lady. Does she look familiar to you by any chance? She's got like crystal that seems to be... I think the implication is that the crystal is sort of trapping her here. But she may also be entangled in those roots. It's not really clear. But if she looks familiar to you, because we already know her...
It will do no good, I swear it. And yet you persist. You frothing degenerates.
The puppets? So if I recall, this is the only thing she actually says. And her dialogue kind of just keeps going. Doesn't her, like, little cabbage head thing kind of looks like you could just, like, put stuff inside of it? Just for fun. Maybe. Okay. You're gonna swear at you frothing degenerates. Okay, so why exactly she's calling the puppets, which can't froth, they're puppets, frothing degenerates, I have absolutely no idea. But presumably something has captured her, and maybe is torturing her for information or something? It is unclear. Making sure there's nothing else in the area. There is something over there. And I don't think there's anything besides that. I'll grab this and then teleport away. Okay, it's just some stupid fucking dragonfly head. Okay, get rid of that. And then let's move back here. Get off. Okay. I need to look at that spell. And then I'll go back into my... It must be, like, I would hate to listen to my own LP. Because I start on one train of thought, and then I have to deal with something, or I get distracted. And then I have to pick back up on it like 30 minutes later. It must be infuriating. I know it is for me. I'm the one saying the shit. It drives me absolutely bonkers. I need to put that stupid lantern here. There we go. Okay. Like, I practically lose my mind when I'm recording because of that. Like, it's one of the things that drives me crazy. Phalanx. Yeah, I picked up this. I never read it, I think. So, nothing. Oh, it boosts one faith. Oh, alright. I could really use that. Okay. Well, keep that in mind. Alright, Ambush Shard. Slightly different color than the other ones. And it is being organized into a new column, or a new whatever, row. One of the night sorceries of Celia, Town of Sorcery. Alright, night sorceries. Launches a projectile from a distance removed from the caster, so as to strike the enemy from behind. This sorcery can be cast repeatedly. So I guess it's like, it's sort of like a... Where is it? Where is... Where the hell is it? What happened to the sorcery that I was just looking at earlier on that had the little daggers around it? I never bought it. That's what it was. Okay. Because I was saving it. Alright, yeah. Okay. But it's like that. It's like the little daggers, except you leave them in the air, and then I guess you can walk away from them, and then whenever someone approaches them, it attacks you? I don't know if I've ever seen this before. The Celian sorcerers were assassins, and it is said that they often hunted their fellows. Well, that's not very good assassin behavior, I would say. You would think it would be hard to surprise someone whenever you all knew that one another was trying to kill each other. Well, whatever. Okay, but the concept of invasions that I was wanting to discuss was more about the actual mechanism behind it. The way that it actually sort of works now is more or less okay. One thing I will say about these weapons, it's pretty good for doing that, just riding through and just cutting things really quickly. Not good for range, though. But the problem, that aspect anyways, like I said, I don't want to get too much into it. That aspect of evasions is... Asshole. That aspect of invasions is being throttled by the co-op. That's more what I wanted to talk about. Because of the fact that, like, co-op actually feels a little bit rare in this game, in a way. Because you do, at the beginning of the game, spend a lot of time doing this. Just wandering around in this open area, and you don't do any co-op in it at all. Like, I guess some people really go through the trouble of trying to. But at that point, you absolutely will get invaded, so it seems like there's no reason to actually do co-op at all. In that circumstance, because you're just going to get invaded and be distracted, and you won't actually get anything done either way. So it's kind of become the domain of gank squads and nothing else. Get out of here! God, I'm so sick of looking at bats. You're such goddamn pests. Like, this is none of your business. Nothing I'm doing involves you. You don't need to be here. Did you fall? Did you fall down to try to attack me? Get out of here. Okay. You can see the reason why I was like, I really don't want to have to talk about the whole invasion, the greater scope of invasions in this particular part, because it's just there's so much involved in that. So maybe I'll kind of leave it at there. But the more, actually, I do have to go over here. The more restrictive that the co-op becomes, the more throttled invasions also become. Glow. The running attack on this is pretty... How are you still alive? The running attack is pretty satisfying. For some reason, this dragonfly head is just here. I don't know why they're so preoccupied with these stupid dragonfly heads. I guess they are kind of rare. Maybe they're used for some very specific, very nice item that I'm not aware of. Go on. Around the tree. There we go. Oh, okay. That's why. Yeah, the running attack kills them like one hit. Whereas actually just trying to do a standing combo does not work. Takes two. Okay. But you can tell that because of the fact that co-op gets more restricted, invasions get more restricted. I get the impression that whenever you do invasions, there's probably only going to be... You're probably going to see the same area over and over and over again. And the area is probably going to be that first starting area. Because where else are you going to run into people? On very, very rare occasions, I have seen invaders briefly show up in catacombs, but it is exceedingly rare, and whenever it actually does happen, usually the reason why you would actually summon someone into a catacomb is because you're about to do the boss. People do sometimes summon them in for clearing out the area, but it doesn't come up that often. And even whenever it does, for some reason, the game seems to not prioritize those people until they've actually cleared out enough of the area for the doors to open. It may be that you can't actually get invaded until those boss doors are open. I don't know. But that's whenever I see people actually show up in the catacombs as invaders. Is whenever those doors open. And, of course, by that point, the co-op people have run in and they're already doing the boss. So I've never even seen... I've seen an invader's name pop up in a catacomb, but I've never actually seen an invader. The entire, like, co-op and invasion system in Elden Ring seems to just suck. Like, I don't think it's been successful. It seems like it's kind of fallen apart. Which is unfortunate because it's such a staple, or has become a staple of things. Okay, so this is a trap. Of course, I'm sure that you're aware. Before I go, I guess... There's not much lore related to say about this area, other than it's a little bit weird. There's a tower that's literally called the Tower of Return. And it does seem to be, like, not guarding anything. It's overlooking the ocean, but nothing about it seems to be facing the ocean in such a way that it's meant to be looking out for, like, sea raiders or anything like that. It's actually facing the interior. And of course we see like more ruins over here. That, again, they're just generic weird ruins that don't seem to have ever been connected to anything. There is like, I think, a generic item over there, but I'm not going to bother with it. So maybe it was meant for the sake of looking out over these mausoleum things? I really don't know. There's more of these ruins, but those are the ones that fell from the sky. So I think that this tower may just be here because they needed something to be on the end of the map that was important enough for you to have to sort of have a very loose engagement with it so that you could fight your way to the top. I think that's the reason why there's a tower here. Or maybe it is just sort of a lookout to... Okay, that'll be my rationalization. Let's say that this is just a general lookout tower. It is just here to survey the general area, just to have people, you know, outposted here to be able to just know what's going on in this general vicinity. To make sure there's no, like, bandits setting up camp or anything like that. There we go. This is lore of this area, I guess. Why exactly it's called the Tower of Return, I don't know. You would think that if the local... What was the name of this place? That if the local Castle Morn wanted very specifically there to be a secret tower somewhere that had the ability to transport people to a hilarious location, then they would not have it just inside of a random chest at the top of a bunch of ruins. That instead there would be like an actual mechanism, maybe a locked door, you know, something important. Or maybe it would just be inside the castle, inside of a basement somewhere. So I imagine that the reason why it's called the Tower of Return is because the developers wanted you to read the name and then go, oh, Tower of Return, I wonder what that means. So there, again, probably is not any actual lore to this, it's probably just another video gameism. Which I hate to say, but seems to be the ongoing problem with Elden Ring's lore. That if it's not something big, they don't give a shit about it. Alright, well, let's open it up, see what happens. Oh, return gas! Oh my goodness. I got ensnared. I got thunderstruck. I do like this, though. It is sort of a joke, but I do like the fact that even very, very early on... By the way, I hope the fact that I hope the fact that being warped here did not, like, fuck up an NPC quest line somewhere. Which, surely not, but just... I never trust anything FromSoft does, because they fuck up so many things like that. But very early on, with this trap and the other trap that I did not use because I didn't want to get actually trapped, this one you could just warp out, it's not a big deal. They try to make it a point that, look, there's way more to the map than you're aware of. There's way more to the game, and this is where you're expected to go. The fact that they actually deliver you right here at the base of the tree is fucking wild to me. Like, that's pretty crazy. I wonder if I can talk to... No, I cannot. Okay. That would have been a good time for it. Guess I can run over here and try to pick up this item. I'll probably die in the process, because that guy activates very, very, very quickly. Damn it. Mistime my roll. Alright. And he has a very, very long reach. You can kill him. Let's try to kill him. I want to get my health back for that free hit that bitch got on me. But you can bait him out here, so it's not as much of an issue. You can run out there and try to get a few hits on his legs. It's not really that big of a deal, though. Let's try to bait him out here for the hell of it. I don't really recall if you're able to get much of anything from doing this, though. Oh, by the way, may as well do this. Okay. God damn, that's some reach. Don't you do it. Alright, those are probably my least favorite I'm a big giant attacks. Whenever like a giant, like, stomps their foot on the ground, and there's a gigantic AoE that you just can't get away from. Or like that, whenever they drive their weapon in the ground, and then just them pulling it out somehow is another AoE. Ugh. Not a big fan of it. Yeah, I could probably kill him, I guess. If I actually pay attention to what I'm doing. bleed is really the answer to this. For some reason, yeah, whenever you target him, his like pathing does sort of freak out. There we go. Unfortunately, this dude likes to fall in such a way that you can't access his chest, his chesticles. Ah, you bitch. You didn't fucking hit me. Like, his lawnmower move there is really strange. There we go, okay. I'll time that correctly. This is another Elden Ringism, though. It's really hard to fight a lot of things in this game because the camera is just terrible. May as well heal. Actually, you need to heal twice. Oh, don't start that shit. That's why I didn't want him to start that shit. I couldn't see that he was actually doing that move. Yeah, every so often they'll just start breathing on the ground. I can kill this guy. It's not a big deal. They're slow enough. It's just a matter of actually paying attention. Well, it's a matter of paying attention and the camera actually behaving itself. Because if the camera is not behaving yourself, then you can't pay attention. You can't actually see what the hell they're doing. I should also probably... Yeah, I guess I could, like, equip spells. Shit, I haven't actually... I'll do that next time. Oh, cool. Thanks for completely ruining that. Oh, don't do that. Come over here. Come over here. We're not fighting off in the corner to where you can kill me and then rush over and hit me as I'm trying to get my fucking runes. Hurry up and get over here. Fucking baby. Get rid of these when I'm thinking about it. Come on. Charles? That's your name now, Charles? Love having the baby Charles. There you go. Come on. Out here. Don't start... I really don't like that free damage they get whenever they just choose to stomp the ground. It comes out too quickly. No, 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 no. There we go. Maybe I can actually get into Visceral. There we go. Takes a while. If I don't get him this time. I don't like those instant startup moves. But if I don't get him this time, I'll just do it. I'll screen. It's not a big deal. I really don't like that. Not being able to see what he's doing is the biggest problem. No, we're not going in there. Come on. It's even more of an issue. Okay, so I'll do that. And like this particular ash that I'm using, the one that gives me that weapon buff. What? That's what you were doing? God damn it. I couldn't even see it. I thought he had just done some overhead attack. His doesn't look like the other ones do. Because they, like, get down on all fours and, like, rear their back up in the air. And that's whenever they start breathing fire. His is like he actually, like, leans forward and hits the ground and does it. Oh, well, whatever. What else we got to do? It should be about it. Oh, yeah, there's that thing that I couldn't find. There's the boss I need to kill, and then there's the Erd Tree guy. So this particular episode, we managed to get everything. Except for that one thing that I didn't get. Okay, so in that case, I think I will give it one more try and then end it here. Charge attack power. Boost faith. There we go. That's what I wanted. Memorize spell. Flame of Frenzy. That's not really going to do us any good, honestly, but... Oh yeah, I never read Divine Fortification. Incantation of Two Fingers Faithful. Guys, follow the path that has been set for you, and you will make enemies of all others. Wait, I think I have read this, haven't I? Amongst the sorcerers, ancient dragon knights, and the scions of gold. Heed me. The lands between offers no welcome to the tarnished. Yeah, I think we've read this before. I think it was in my earlier thing when I had collected it already. What is a requirement on Lightning Strike? Probably nothing great. It's probably poopy. Lightning Strike. 28. Ugh, it's going to be a bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to level up a lot more. Alright. Give it one more try. Come along, sweetie. I guess I could try. Oh wait, I can't. I don't have the ability to cast anything yet. I completely forgot. May as well. Doesn't really matter. Uh-oh. Aha! Now you behave yourself. No more of that fucking fire shit, okay? Always, like you always have to. Whoa! No! Roll! I think he's no. Okay, he actually fell down. It's really hard to tell. He was falling down, but I actually thought he was trying to do that fire breath attack again. Don't. That came out a little bit slower than I thought it was going to do. Is he trying to use that fire breath attack? I can't. Now he's using it. Yeah, that's what I'm used to it looking like. It's just really hard to see because you're right up in the camera. Get a little shaky, isn't he? He's almost going to fall off the edge if he's not careful. Use the... I've noticed that if you're trying to, like, drink a flask, if you step up a very small incline, it'll fuck up. And are you fucking serious? And it'll actually cancel the animation. I cannot believe that attack actually hit me. Like that shit, I hate that shit. Not a big fan. Of course, I don't think these guys actually bleed either way, so it doesn't particularly matter. It'd be nice if I had a healing spell. That would be especially nice. There's a lot to do. I think one of the things I actually do want to try to do at the very end here is if I can get to the round table. Still, I'm not really sure why I do not have access to it. Oh, are you serious? I died from him walking. Because his stupid feet actually do AoEs that deal damage. Because he's so big, watch out. Whatever. I can't even remember what that dumbass drops. I think it's like a pittance of souls and maybe like he spits in your face. Well, enough of that. Let's see. How the hell am I supposed to get to the round table? Because it's always been such a non-issue for me in the past. Okay, this is Eli from the future again. Hello, it's been a while. I'm less angry now. A little bit. I'll go ahead and cut my past self off and say that what is actually going on is, while I'm warping around trying to figure out how exactly to trigger the cutscene that allowed me to get into the round table hold, I looked it up, and apparently, in order for this to happen, you have to do one of two things. You either typically have to either beat Margit, which obviously I haven't done yet, or you have to travel past Margit, past Stormvale, which usually on most of my characters I do. I will completely circumvent that because I'm trying to get stuff that I'm not supposed to have early, which I've demonstrated in this playthrough, obviously. And I've done neither of those things in this case, so I think that's the thing that's actually locking me out. Although I have noticed that some people have complained that they have done both of those things and beaten Margit and, you know, so forth and so on, and they still can't get her to show up. Which I wish I could say that I'm surprised, but this is a FromSoft game, so I fully expect there to be some sort of shenanigans associated with it. So I guess I'm just not allowed to be at Round Table Hold for the time being. So maybe in the next episode I will absolutely have to defeat Margit, or else I will not be able to even cast any of the incantations that I've been leveling up for. So there's that. Well, either way, hope you guys have a pleasant day, and that you enjoyed this nightmarish clusterfuck of an episode that I did not enjoy creating. But now it exists, and we must all endure its existence. Thank you. See you guys next time.